Welcome everyone to the Supercut of Palm Zoo, a zoo I built over a year ago, and if you need some background noises, something to fall asleep, or just a lot of inspiration in the next coming 2 hours and 40 minutes, this Supercut may be for you. It's one of my coolest typical Rudy builds, but more about that from the past Rudy, so enjoy the Supercut. So hello and welcome to a typical Rudy project. You ask for it, I deliver. We are building a huge house that is in the shape of a palm tree. You've seen it from the intro already, and it's gonna go only better from here on. But let me explain a couple of things. So this very project has been something in my mind for a long time. I felt like it's time to do something again that made you guys watch my channel. It's not really the hyper realistic builds, is it? It's also not really the intricate habitats. What you guys subscribe for is bigger and wilder and different, and this is what I wanted to do with this build. I wanted to finally branch out again, and here's the good thing. We are now in a build that is focused on being bigger, on being something unique, something that usually Rudy comes up with, and it's going to be amazing. It's already finished by the time we speak. Well, I gotta do a couple of little things, but I still have 2 days off, so that's easy to do. I'm very proud of the build, and this time around you guys get it on your hands as well if you want to. I'm gonna upload the shell for all the members of the channel already today, so that you can already download the file, put it into the game tomorrow, and then you have it, and it's gonna go during the week. I'm gonna upload also the shell to the Steam workshop so everyone can have it as well, and I'm also going to upload a lot of screenshots and stuff for the members today as well. So if you are not a member on the channel, it's maybe the best time to become one. It also comes with a couple of other things, as you know, emojis, blah blah blah. You don't need to, but just as a little heads up. Now, this build in particular was something for so many reasons. We are going to have the Sloth in here in the first episode. We are going to have it also seen, we will see it also in the real-time part, but I wanted to mix the style that this pack brings in a completely different way. Now, as the pack is really focused on this Indonesian kind of temple style with some bricks and blah blah blah, it just kind of screams for building like a temple or like a Balinesian inspired stuff or whatever. However, at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? No, that's too obvious, right? That's something everyone would do. Why not do something different? And here we are. We are building a relatively modern looking building in the shape, as I said, as of a palm tree. You'll see that at the end in the real time, but it's looking really cool. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Also, finally, I managed to hit the proportions spot on. It's big, it's humongous, yes, but it's not unrealistically big. So it really has in relation to the size of the animals and the people, it really looks decent. And I did a lot to match that. Like, I really did a couple of things backstage, what's that even? I mean, off screen, how you would call it. It's so weird to call it that way. I did it without recording. Well, let's put it that way. A couple of things, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. Also here, testing a little things with some lights, and this time around I finally managed to also do something I relatively often forget about recently, and this is planning ahead. I made a tutorial myself. If you haven't seen that one, tutorials on the channel massively, but planning ahead is so important, and this is what I did with these blueprints over here, making sure that they already have the light planned into it for the central, like it's kind of the branch for the palm tree, like the central piece. But just try to plan ahead and ensure that we have this overall look, not only at daytime but also nighttime. I got to do a couple of things with lighting at the end, but it's hopefully internet is ready by the end of this build, even though I'm not sure if it is. I'm struggling already to have enough internet to make this upload in time. It's horrible, but you shouldn't think too much about my internet issues. But overall, I'm really happy with how this build turned out. And yeah, I gotta say though, most of today's episode is focused on the build itself before we then go for the last couple minutes into the Sloth area. I will though say already, a little spoiler ahead, there are a couple of things we need to discuss about the Sloth. We are going to discuss this while we are having the relevant info on screen as well, but there is some discussion we have to do. But before we do this discussion, let's talk about the future of Planet Zoo. So if you guys have been in the video till this very point, first of all, thank you. Thank you for not skipping. And if you skipped here, stop skipping. Not skippity skip, okay? Stay with me, because the next couple minutes, while you see the architecture evolve in the background, no worries, we are also going to talk about the architecture a bit more after the next part, which is the future of Planet Zoo. Now, I said this already in my pack overview. I've mixed emotions. I love this pack. I really love it. I love the animals, and I also love the free update. The problem is that the pack does tell me something different than the free update. Hear me out. The free update comes again with so many changes that I'm like, how the hell would you do that 3.5 years into development? These changes are so good, they are so relevant to the game that it doesn't feel like we might be in the last year of support. But then again, the DLC kind of does say we are in the last year of support. And this is what brings me really, I'm not sure, like I wish that this game continues for longer. We know that next year there will be a game release of another Planet game. We know for a fact that this is going to be a Planet game. Even though it's not Planet Coaster 2, it might be a new Planet game, who knows. But we know that it's going to be like an own IP, and obviously Planet is their own IP that works the most, and we all know that something has been in development. So it's only realistic that maybe the active support stops. So that leaves me with my thoughts that unfortunately they will not be adding any more different groundbreaking mechanics like birds or like, you know, deep diving like fully marine animals, because A, there wouldn't be enough time to benefit from this system. Like, there wouldn't be enough time to bring in more animals that we would need for that. So it has been, in my opinion, in my very personal opinion, I have no other information. I don't know anything else than you guys do. But I thought this is the last chance to really get a DLC like that. Simply because there are at least 2 more DLCs confirmed. Well, in fact, if you go for the financial year, even 3 more DLCs. So it's going to be the summer DLC, the autumn DLC, and the holiday winter DLC, if you fancy saying so. So those are confirmed, definitely, and then maybe even another spring DLC for next year. So after this one, 4 DLCs, including 2 animal packs, would have been on the plate. So that obviously would have made things a lot more interesting in terms of really having a deep dive mechanic. On the other hand, or like birds, for example. On the other hand, here's me thinking, why do we need to have it now? Why couldn't they do it in the next pack, for example? Because the next pack is going to be an animal pack. And here's again where I'm struggling a little bit, because we already have so many animals in this game. Like, we have so many animals in the game. People may disagree, but if you look at the overall number of the animals in the game, I have not even remotely done a habitat for every single animal. Not even remotely. It's insane, you know? And I have a good amount of hours in this game, and I did a good amount of builds, but I'm still lacking over 50% of the animals. So the depth of the game is really there, you know, but only when it comes to the overall amount of animals. We have so many cat-like animals, we've got so many bear-like animals, we've got so many monitor lizard-like animals. Like, we have a lot of copy-paste animals in the best possible way. They are all unique and nice looking, and I don't want to make it any bad. It's really good. It's really good. However, the next pack is most likely going to be an animal pack again. So that means 7+1 animals. Now, 7+1 always was a little bit on the negative side for me, simply because, like, yeah, the exhibit animal. But now, as we have the walkthrough exhibit, and it seems like Frontier now focuses on that one, makes a whole bunch of sense. Now, imagine, it's just me being weird now, okay? Imagine the next pack really would tackle birds. Like, the reason why I think about this is the recent Jurassic World Evolution 2 DLC. It brought a new flying reptile into the game, which the name I totally can't pronounce anymore. Helothoropterus, whatever. But the thing is tiny. It actually has the size of a normal modern day bird. It's like, as I think it's something like a hawk, or in that kind of category, hawk-sized animal. So in this huge aviary, it flies different than the other ones do because it is so tiny that it now really flies relatively free. I really could see that one being the last test before they do something similar. So as much as the two games differ from each other, they are built in the same engine. That means at least the way of flying and stuff they can port. And now, given the fact that it definitely, the walkthrough exhibit is something different than an aviary, no worries. I'm not going to compare those two because in fact, an exhibit is more likely just a very modern animatronic, you know, the animal Pirates of the Caribbean of the modern day, so to say. While the habitat animals are actually KI animal, or AI animals, I should say. So that said, I really do think it's time to at least hope that they could also use an animal pack for the introduction of either deep diving animals or birds. And the reason why I think so is that both of these things do not require a huge amount of new pieces. So if the free update would bring all the necessary stuff, for example, a new barrier type that is acting like an aviary type, like maybe, you know, barrier type that automatically creates a mesh structure with a roof part of it. You can just adjust the height, for example. So basically creating like a reverse tank, if you will. So that the same mechanic as the deep dive mechanic can apply, that would be very much working. And then you don't even need like a whole lot of pieces because we have so many pieces already in the game, rope pieces, blah, blah, blah. So maybe just give us a couple of enrichment items like perch points or whatnot. And also the fact that they now have a dedicated brachiation option in the game with pieces that are only dedicated to brachiation, and you can enable and disable the climbing option. That these are all indicators that could lead eventually to, you know, the introduction of something else. And since this is all pointing towards like aviary stuff, maybe we see it. However, I think, you know, this is me more wishing than actually having evidence or whatnot. So I'm just hoping, obviously, for the better. Honestly, realistically, I don't see it happening, but I don't want to give up completely now. I think there is still a tiny chance that they do this. And if it's not about that, they could still do the full marine animal pack, whatnot, because that would give us a lot of options as well with the, again, free update bringing all the stuff we need, such as a new type of gate, so that we have a full tank and the keepers can still get in somehow. Not sure how exactly they would do that, but okay. So it's still possible, and then with the other DLCs, they can deliver enough animals. However, one last thought. Maybe we are also all comparing this too much to Planet Coaster. I recently thought about this as in maybe we've been pleased with a load of great DLCs for Planet Coaster in the past, and we thought, okay, at some point it's over because everything is done. And we were kind of right. But with this specific type of game, Frontier could still like officially end the support of free updates and blah, 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 but still do paid DLCs for animals. Like, how would that work? Well, just imagine they use this year now to bring in every mechanic needed. So aviaries and fully marine animals. And at the end of the year, we may have 5 each, like 5 proper birds, 5 proper deep diving animals, and then add this with a couple walkthrough animals like fishies that work like butterflies. You know, you could also have different types of fish in a walkthrough exhibit like butterflies, and then just kind of little tanks appear or whatnot. So this could work pretty much like this. And then in the future, they could just sell animal DLCs, like proper animal, nothing else, no enrichment item, no whatever. They can just use the base of the existing animals and just bring us copy-paste variants just as now, and everyone will be happy with that. Everyone will be paying for that. Frontier's making money, can pay the devs who still do the animals, but they don't need anything else, you know. Eventually they need a couple of bug fixing, okay, you need that, but they could basically bring this game into a mode of delivering animals without doing too much else. That's just me thinking. But yeah, as we now move over to the Sloth, it's time to speak about the architecture real quick before we then speak about the Sloth, as promised before. The architecture of this build has been inspired slightly, not really a lot, but slightly by the build in Valencia, in the oceanographic area, but also obviously in the science museum and aquatic museum that you have in Valencia. The architectural style is amazing. The same architect who also did the Sydney Opera House has had its hands in there, and you know, I was like really low-key inspired by that, but not really a lot, just like some of the form factors. And then I went in and tried to look at some like hotels, like very modern hotels in Indonesia and Bali, and you know, kind of trying to mimic a little bit of the hotel style that work a lot with like more modern integrations of panels and stuff like that, and just pair those two things, because what the architecture from Valencia does really well is bringing in organic form factors, while these hotels always have a cool little interior design for huge hallways and stuff. So they both deliver, and so I mix those two things together. We will see that in the real-time part a bit better. But yeah, that's just like for my inspiration where I came from. But now let's quickly talk about the Sloth. Well, you've heard my verdict already if you've seen the overview videos, but the one thing in particular I am not happy with is the way how little customizable the climbing frame is that comes with the walkthrough exhibit. Don't get me wrong, I'm still very happy with the animations, I'm very happy with the model, I'm very happy with the fact how they have the different placements and stuff. It always is fun to go through there again and search for the Sloth where it's hanging around right now. You don't really need much more than that, because they are so freaking slow and chill that it just delivers, and you basically always have one who's climbing from A to B, so there is movement, and it doesn't in particular look like a loop, because in fact it is not a loop. They're too slow to complete a loop anyway, so yeah, they're just having the loop animations are most likely these where they chill in one place, and then it's fine, I guess. So yeah, so I tried my best to just create like a little garden atmosphere here, with two different habitats, the one being a bit more jungly, guiding you through like a very overgrown garden in which I also had some hanging plants and stuff, and the other one has some little temple vibes going on. This is where I'm also going a bit more classic into the into the pack itself, just to test this. So basically it's Rudy Madness on the outside and DLC perfection in the inside, I should say. So that's what I'm doing. Really happy with how it all turned out. I can't say anything else. It really made a lot of sense to me how it turned out, and I tested a couple of things how we can ensure that things look good. As you can see, I'm trying to cover up certain things where I didn't found them hanging, made sure that everything just kind of makes sense, tried to bring in some pieces that add a bit of atmosphere in here. So see, for example, that one in the center does work because they are always like hanging to the outside. And yeah, just trying a couple of things, putting like a roof in here and building like a housing above this. These things just worked out in a way, and you can get creative with it, but I'm not seeing too many opportunities to do this differently. I have another idea for Sicily. That is good. I do have one more idea for Zoo Sicily, but I'm not sure what else could be done after this. Like there are two major ideas. The one has been done here. The other one is, you know, I'm gonna keep this for Sicily. You'll see that when you watch this one. It's a little hint to subscribe, by the way, if you haven't already. If you want to see that other stuff as well, you could do now, because still 50%. Or more than 50% of the people watching my videos have not subscribed. And I'm talking about those people coming back on a regular basis. So that's still quite insane, but whatever. You can see putting a lot more of the foliage down. Mixing the different foliage types from various packs now is a lot of fun too, because Frontier has managed to blend them relatively well this time, so yeah. But it's about time. We are done with the building process in the time-lapse. Let's jump into the game and have a little stroll around in this entrance area and see how the overall building turned out. Right, we are in the real-time part, and as you can see, this is the final build. After episode 1, you've seen a couple of things in the intro and in the thumbnail already. This is how it looks later, so spoiler ahead, you will see the future soon. But now, let's go down. Also, the entrance isn't done quite yet, but it is obviously in my final file, which, just to show you a little spoiler, there you can see the Palm 5. It's there, and also other things. Yeah, but don't look there, okay? Don't look there. Don't do that. I spoiled a couple things. Anyways, let's move into the Explorer mode. And as you can see, this is the entrance. I really love it. I really love the entrance. It's looking really, really clean and nice. And you've got this double layer of glass to obviously ensure that this is like a proper entrance. And then you've also the view into the very open area in the back. We are going to have a look at this once we're getting closer. But let's go through the gate here. There you go. And we are already greeted by a very overgrown area with this wonderful Sloth already. Look at that. This is what I meant, you know. You get some really cool looks when you go here. And this one is just like chewing on some fruits. Really nice. Like, I really do like the animation. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's grabbing some few fruits. I'm a little bit sad that they don't really actually grab something. That would have been easier. I mean, this would have been easy to do, right? Why wouldn't they do this here? But anyways, so we've that one, the other one chilling in here. Look at that. This can almost like be a screen saver or like a... gosh. This looks really cool. Let me just quickly check. Like, can I get somehow the light in here? The problem always is, can I get light in? Oh yeah, look at that. There's a little bit of light coming in the morning. Can I get also light in the evening? Yeah, well, no, oh my god. Okay, well, it's a little bit of light in here, so not too much, but it's okay. It's okay. I can deal with this. Like, look, it's a bit of a shame that we can't get more light in. This is also pretty okay. Just getting a bit of light in. We would need to. Can I have help? Okay, the flashlight does help a little bit. So yeah, basically, as I think, this is really nice looking. Like with how this thing chills in here. And something over here worked. I put like a lock in here and just like, you know what? Is it clipping in the back a little? No, it's not. It worked pretty fine. You know, I just put this lock in here to make it seem a bit more like a tree. Oh, have you seen the yawn? Oh my god, that was quite nice. Did you hear that? Oh, that was so cute. Yeah, see, it's very cool. You can definitely explore a lot of things in here. Actually, the lighting is quite nice over here. Look at that with in front of the window. Yeah, no, that looks good. Let's go further. You can see one here. And then we have one climbing in here. That's also kind of cool. It just climbs through these lianes. Looks really cool as well if it does so. Did I forget to? No, it's play mode is on. Okay, yeah, they're moving so slow you don't even see. And once we get a little bit further in, you can see there are more climbing frames. There's more Sloth hanging around. Is there one chilling in the basket? I quite like it when they're in the basket. Let's have a little look. Oh yeah, look at that. There's one in the basket and one hanging from above. Really cool. Oh, I fixed that in a future episode already. This is in the wrong spot in its arm, but yeah, you can see what happens if you don't do it right. You've got a couple hanging here. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. It works, you know. It definitely works. We've got some hanging over here, and it looks really nice with the lighting. Like, you can get some really cool shots out of it. I really do like how this all turned out so far. Like, I'm a big fan of this house. I'm a big fan of how it looks. Also, I keep it open from the roof. I might actually make like a mechanism that you could close it off for like rain or something, but I want to keep it relatively open because of the temperatures. We do have some proper glass ceiling over here, and when we go further into the build, I did the opposite in other areas. So you can see there's like an open roof in the center core. This is going to be filled with another habitat. The next episode, maybe you already seen what that is. And if you go further in here, you can see the roof is properly sealed, but this time the sides are completely open to let some fresh air get in, but the back is actually sealed off. So just also making sure that the wind is going through here nicely to have like an actual air conditioning system going on. Like, actually, I thought about that, and I really hope that it would work because of the angles of the build itself. So yeah, that's that. You can lose yourself relatively easy in here. Where's the entrance though? Where is it? Is it this one? This one? This one? This one? This one? No, there's the entrance. Okay. Oh my god. So yeah, this is that, and I'm a big fan of the work so far. The entrance area is looking pretty cool. We've got this very nice long way until we are back at the entrance. I have the feeling that it's getting a bit cramped at a certain time, but gosh, the sound is so weird. Yeah, you can see also there's like a vine sticking through here a little bit, but it's okay. I can live with that. Definitely happy with how it all turned out. Whoops, I'm in the tree. Oh, look at that. This one is coming. Let me just speed up the whole process so you can see how it's actually climbing through the vine. It's looking really cool, but oh damn, it's so slow. It's so slow. This is actually sped up 3 times and it still is going through here. Like, my goodness me, why is it so slow? Okay, it's Sloth, so maybe that's why. Can I get some? Oh, look, I can actually get some light on it. Oh, I like it. Look, this is properly lit. I like it. I didn't expect this to happen, but it seems working. Oh, yeah, I like it. It's good like this. Awesome. Okay, let's move out once more and just fly over the whole thing. So you see it from above once more, that it actually has the shape of a palm tree. It's quite nice. I wish to have some smaller bits here and there, but it's okay. Also trying with these supports, they look like a little bit of these you know, palm leaves that are on the lower side. I decided to not do them any further here, just to keep that open. There will be like some terrace views in the rest at the end, because we've got some water in, as you've seen from the thumbnail. So that's kind of cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Relatively long episode, but as I said, it's most likely done. Like 90% of the project is done. You better stick with me. It's going to be finished in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to constantly upload the episodes, so you better stick with me. It's going to be absolutely mad. The end result is really cool. I'm going to upload the final result to the workshop in the coming days. For those of you who want to have it earlier, I'm going to do a upload of this for the members of the channel as well. As I said earlier, already a bit early. But yeah, that's that. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Now make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to see more of this, and if you want to see more of the pack anyways, keep an eye on the channel the next coming days. A lot is prepared, including Sicily and so on. Have a good time. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. So welcome for the second episode of Palm Zoo. Today we are bringing in the large gibbon. However, spoiler ahead, this is the absolute center of the build. This is the central idea. This is what everything is built around. I will talk about this in specific during the episode, but hear me out. This whole project was based on one single idea. Last episode I spoke a lot about the architecture, the different nuances, the different, you know, kind of inspirations I had, and so on and so forth. But that was not really the final decision I took before I started building. There was one thing that made me go this route, and this one thing was actually seeing the large gibbon in action. Like, we got this early access of the pack very early on this time around, so a big thanks to Frontier. It was almost 2 weeks, which is very uncommon, but very welcome for me, because obviously time reasons, it's always good to have it quite a bit ahead of time. So big thanks to them. This always helps also out in terms of iron out some, you know, glitches and stuff like that. We can give some feedback, so it makes the whole thing better in the end. But I saw this and I was like, okay, what the hell? This is good. This is like really good. I talked about this already in the overview video, but the variation was something I was relatively disappointed about when the Siamang was introduced. Like, the Siamang itself is amazing. It is an amazing animal. It looks cool, and the variation on the variation frame was pretty awesome, but the frame was humongous, and so the frame was not really usable at all. Now, Frontier did something I have never ever expected them to do, so this is one of these little signs that sometimes, even though we think all hope is lost, there still is hope. For whatever reason, they thought it might be a good idea to tackle it. Maybe it's because the large gibbon is way smaller than the Siamang is, but and it might have looked even more ridiculous on this humongous frame. But a normal Frontier thing would be to give us a smaller version of the frame, instead of just giving us more freedom and an overhauled system. But they did. So they gave us an overhauled system of the abrasion, meaning they can now brachiate on various pieces, and there's even a toggle in the game, like a filter, to see which pieces are basically, you know, ready to be used as brachiation pieces, even though I think they did not include all of them. Maybe they did now with the final build. I haven't checked that yet, but As of now, I do know it is the actual climbing pieces from the normal climbing, you know, frames and stuff from the enrichment items. It is the vines, like the liane vines, so to say, and obviously the frame as well. But they did it for me as well on the normal rope piece, on the 4-meter straight rope piece. They also did do the brachiation used as a longer kind of line. So yeah, it's good to see that they do this now on basically custom-made frames, which is great because that enables a lot of things. And you know, long story short, this is exactly where my idea was coming from. You can see me testing a couple of things over here, and trust me, you can be happy that I did not include the barrier setting, like the build of where the barriers are. It is a complete mess. I might show this at the end of the episode. It was a horror to get this in the works, but in fact, the Siamang will be in here as well later on, just as a little spoiler ahead, but also the Lar gibbon will be able to use the entire tropical house. Yes, they will be able to swing across the pathways where the guest will be going, and it's gonna be very lush at the end, very overgrown, and then you will have the Lar gibbon swinging and brachiate through the corridors, and trust me when I say it looks phenomenal. As I said, I'm already, well, at the moment 95% done, so very close to the final result. And I can already tell you it works like a charm. Like, we do have some glitches here and there, sometimes they just fall down and, you know, certain things happen, but combined with the fact that we can now finally toggle the climbing property of a piece, I was finally able to do something like that, because I could really just go in and I just completely disabled everything by default, and then I just put the frame in I wanted and enabled that. So that gave me full control over the corridor. And yeah, also I was using that liane for a test because it told me so that it was climbable, but in fact it isn't. Like, I didn't want them even to brachiate on it, I just wanted them to use it as a climbing frame. But whatever, they don't. So in case you want to use that, just don't, and use it as you know, decoration instead, which is looking good. I might just add though, at the end of today's episode, it will be just like a testing version. So as I said, I basically split the whole build in several parts, so you can see the process. And you know, this is basically the main habitat and also one corridor test. So it will feature 4 corridors in total. I will maybe leave out one for a good reason. So there will be 4 corridors in which they can go, and at the end of each corridor I will have certain enrichment items. Unfortunately, this will only be enrichment items that are not necessarily items that the keeper needs to fill in or something like that, because as you can imagine, it's impossible to bring the keeper over there, even though they can go there and, you know, use their little poover thing to clean it out, but just from a distance. Unfortunately, they can't really get here, because as soon as I would make like an opening or like a gate for the keeper, it would be open as well for the animals, simply because the game doesn't allow for more gates than one, like actual gates to the habitat. So I would need to make like a fake gate, and you know, every traversable area that is basically even remotely usable by a keeper is 100% also usable by the gibbon. So there is no chance to trick the system, at least I don't know of any. So yeah, whatever. As always, the same as always, like putting a couple of you know, details here and there. And I also might want to add one thing, even though it's not, like, if it wasn't even obvious, I am not using any mods at all at the moment. So even though free build is working as far as I know, but I thought, you know what, for this DLC and for this build in particular, I wanted to make sure it's the pure vanilla experience of Planet Zoo for you guys. I do know that some people, and hopefully new people now, come in, and if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, you better do, so you don't miss out on these weird camel builds, I guess, in the future. And yeah, just subscribe. It's good. I tell you, trust the camel. Always trust the camel. It's good. Or trust chair. And if you don't know what chair means, you definitely have to stay until you know what chair means. Anyways, the fact that I was building in here without mods is just like to showcase how much more versatile the game has gotten now with a couple of updates to the system, and I like it. I really do like it. I love it. Also, I just completely fell in love with the new gizmo options. They are so subtle and you don't notice them until you notice. I mean, I talked about the gizmo quite a lot, but it's really a game changer. And I totally agree when some people think that the free update this time around wasn't, you know, huge. In fact, even Lady and I had a little talk about what the hell shall we put on the freaking thumbnail, because what to show? Like there is nothing, you know, we don't get a free animal, or we don't get a new behavior that is, well, we do get a new behavior, but it's not like obvious, as like when the animals were kicking bins and trash bins, which by the way never gets used anymore, I guess. Let's not talk about that one. But and this is something I want to point out. Sometimes in these updates, they seem to be bigger than they really are at the end, because sometimes the changes that are being brought into the game are not sustainable. They are good for a moment. Like, for example, let me just name two. I like these options, but they're not sustainable. The first one is obviously the escaped animals kicking over trash bins and stuff. The second I saw that, it was like, oh my god, they just went the extra mile. But the more I thought about this, I was like, I'm never going to use that, and potentially you will never going to use this, because everyone wants to just kind of, I don't know, make a zoo that works. And then again, they don't do this like on such a regular basis, which is realistic, that you will never, or like catch it maybe once a year or something. So it really doesn't add too much to the game. Another thing, which is in terms of, well, it's not as bad as the kicking of bins, but also the keepers being able to hold animals from the exhibits is a good thing, and I still always forget about this. It's a pity, because the exhibits per se are so boring, and I know it was like kind of a, you know, attempt of making them a bit more interesting, which in fact worked. And definitely for people who love to play franchise a lot, it was a brilliant addition, but it's not like that gigantic one. However, if we talk about this one now, on the outside, this update looks super shallow and looks super, like, I don't know, mediocre in terms of what we get. But if you look behind that, there are two absolutely game-changing things in here that will be used so often that they are super sustainable. And that is the gizmo for the builders. And I do understand that maybe some people don't use it, but even though people who are not using or not used the gizmo so much in the past might want to start using it now, because moving things around on a plane is super useful. But the second one is even more important, and that is the climbable toggle. It's so relevant to the game. I can't even tell. It is so relevant when it comes to building habitats and making sure animals do not escape. It's so relevant to sandbox builders to have more freedom and create more things, which this is a testament of it, that it works. And just in general, it might be one of the most game-changing options without us even knowing. So it's a huge thing. And you can also go and agree that the invisible path is also a very decent addition. Even though, I must say, the fact that it's only the ground path, it's just like, yes, you can have some natural areas now where people walk over like a natural area. That is fine, it's good, but it's not in particular game changing. So the other two are, so that makes this free update absolutely bonkers. It's really, really good, even though you don't see at the beginning. And this is something I really want to emphasis on, really how good that is. Now let's quickly talk about the build. I haven't really talked too much about it because it was relatively obvious. It is the center area. We are going to talk about this in the real-time part in a couple seconds. I have the time then to really explain what I did there and why, but the build itself was relatively straightforward, and there's a good reason to that. So yeah, let's discuss that in the real-time part and jump over in 3, 2, 1. So we are in the actual file. It's actually the file from the next episode, so there might be some spoilers in here, but I'm trying my best to avoid them. Now, as you can see, this is a little shop we built at the end, and this is kind of a little bit of a taste how it will be looking in here. I have certain other ideas as well, but I find this quite cute. It's looking really good. And then we've got the seating area right across the street. I'm gonna put some plants in here and so on. But now we are heading towards the center build, and that is the habitat for the Siamangs and the gibbons, even though we just have some gibbons in here. You can already tell my test went pretty nice indeed, and as you can tell over here that I also hang in down on the rope and do some variation on them. Let's see, maybe we catch it during the episode, but it's quite fun because Frontier even listed down in the patch notes that I can't do it on ropes, but effectively I have seen it in here, so maybe it's fixed in that version, but we'll see. Now let's speak quickly about the build itself. I have changed a couple of things. So first of all, as you can see, I enlarged the fence by another layer of windows because they kept escaping through here, and I built this really quick just netting thing, which makes no sense at all, but it works in terms of making sure that they don't jump down here. By the way, there was someone just doing some variation on here on the vine, just as a confirmation that they do it on this one, even though it's relatively low above the pathway, which I think is also good to know. Really love it. We are going also to have a little stroll down that route to show you how that looks across the road, and it's looking so much better. I mean, I have already filled this in, you know, I am in the lucky position to know how it looks at the end, and I got shivers when I talk about that because it looks so good at the end. But yeah, so there's this little tower we built. I think it's a really nice focal point for your eyes, and it's gonna look a lot different at the end simply because everything is surrounded properly, and then you will understand why this is relatively simple in the middle. I wanted to ensure that it's not like too overdone, you know, not too much, but there's still already a lot going on here with having some food and stuff. The only downside is I needed to cramp in everything in the middle that is relevant to the keeper, because effectively this is the only traversable area that they share. Now what the keepers can do, theoretically they could go into the habitat and do some stuff over here. They kind of glitch in here, which is nice, but yeah, apparently that is a little bit broken. If I do show, let me just quickly show you how the barrier situation looks around here. It's horrible, as you can tell. I needed to build like different habitats within each other, and then having everything just go around. And even though this is also going to look very cool, they will be swinging inside of the sloth habitat, and it does work. I did a couple of testings. That's really cool. They can swing through there, so pretty much what I wanted at the beginning. But yeah, so the big test was if they are going to leave the habitat over here and then just keep on swinging, and they just do. I mean, imagine you're a guest and you just go in here and you have this gibbon just hanging above you. Like, I mean, how cool is that? This is just so cool. This has like so crazy zoo vibes. I mean, this is something I would have loved to enjoy as a kid and just in a zoo, even nowadays, not even just a kid. So yeah, we go further, and I also made sure that it's very low above ground so that once they do the variation and so on, it really is close to the guest. But then we also have a frame that is a lot higher up to ensure that they, you know, also have some distance at some point. Maybe this one is just doing it for us now. Let's see. They love just to run over it. They just love to run across it. But this is also the part why I will have quite a lot of those in, and also the Siamangs, so that we, you know, we can ensure that people will be seeing them in action. I still would love to see Frontier tweak the values a little bit so that they would variate even more often, as in a movement, or like in a, you know, from A to B, so to fulfill the movement, because variation is equally quick as running across it. So that would be really nice if they could do it. But yeah, so you can see they're using everything just quite nicely to get to this position, and then you can tell they're using all of the stuff provided to them relatively nicely. And this time around I can show you that Frontier actually did a good job in terms of fixing the climbing. Yes, we have some glitching, but it's a lot more you know, it's a lot more better than it used to be. It's not as crazy anymore. You don't see them floating all of the time. They do transition quite nicely, as you can tell. I really enjoyed building this and seeing this in action. Also, especially later on when they have done their bits to you know, go through the jungle, I should say. It's really cool. I hopefully you can hear that from my voice, that I'm absolutely in love with it. The only downside is, and I wished maybe I have a fix for that, but I wanted to make them also rest on some of these raised platforms, so maybe it's enough to put a bed there and then just sometimes they rest there. But it's also kind of cool to see them running from A to B all the time. But yeah, I just would love to see them variate more often. Look at that one there in the background. There you can, yeah, there you go. this is exactly what we need. This is the stuff we need. Look, that's so cool if they do this. This is so good. Okay, let's quickly see if they do something on the rope as well. I'm just gonna speed up the game to see if we can force them onto doing that, because I have seen that 110%. So let's see if one of those fellas over here is doing the little favor to us now. Well, they're just all running. I love it how they're just passing by here. Hello, my friends, where are you? Oh, well, look, there's someone coming back. Yeah, they're just crossing over now. They're not minding our business. Okay, well, that's just like stopping over there. Nope. Okay, you're just gonna go back. Ah, come on, stop teasing us. Just do it. Okay, well, I think I might just do a break here until I found that you don't have to wait with me. Alright, I was about to lose my mind, so I just tried the same by putting in a rope from here to here, because I have the feeling maybe this one is too short to make them do this, even though I have seen them doing it over there. Maybe it's just like they have a certain starting point, I don't know. But anyways, here's the proof that they still do it. Oh my god, it's still too fast, but you've seen it. They do the brachiation thingy on ropes as well, so in case you were worried that this is not happening, it is. You've seen that. Proof is done by here and by our friend. Yeah, hanging is also a thing on here basically. But yeah, so everything works. This same goes for the Siamang as well, so don't you worry, this is all good. Look at them, double trouble. But yeah, so I can't even tell you how excited I am to bring you the rest, including this one here in the background for the next episode. Gosh, I don't even know if I need to decide what's the best episode. I can't even tell you. Okay, let me just give you a couple of hints. So this one is going to be the Fossa. I'm not going to show you more than that. If you remember, you've seen some cool screenshots anyways already. So this is going to be the Fossa. Then we are going to have the Asian water monitor in this one. We are going to have the wonderful red river hawk again. We had it in Sicily, but it's going to be in here as well. And then we do have this side, which is I've not fully decided on. Maybe it's going to be for the Siamang again, so that the Siamang is kind of connected to this habitat and we've got some more habitat space, or this is going to be like a little bit of a playground for the kids. And then we have got the back area here, which I might add the tortoises, and then just do a bit of backstage building, you know, just tortoises here in the front and then backstage building. I'm not sure on those two. I haven't done those two fully. Well, I have done this one, just playing around with you guys a little, but I haven't done the back there. So yeah, that's that. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did enjoy, leave a like, leave a subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to click in for the next one. Thank you so much for your follow. Thank you so much for everything. Have a good time. And yeah, keep on watching Planet Zoo. It's good, isn't it? It's good. Have a good time, guys. Buys? Oh my god, I want to say bye and goodbye and guys in one word. So guys, buys, ciao. Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. Hey there again and welcome back. My name is Rudy and today we're going to build a Fossa habitat in the Palm Zoo. If you haven't caught up to this project yet and you clicked on this video for whatever reason, make sure to check out episode 1 so you know what exactly we are doing. If you want to skip that process, well, welcome I guess. Let's focus on the Fossa habitat. Now, just a really quick heads up to what we're doing. In the first episode we created this wonderful palm tree shaped house, tropical house, and now we are going to add our third animal after the Sloth and the Lara gibbon. We are here to bring in the Fossa. I don't know how exactly it's pronounced. Some people said it's like Fossa, whatever. It's having two S's in the name, so I thought it's like Fossa or Fossa, whatever. It's this freaking weird but adorable animal that we got with the new pack, and yeah, we have a space to fill because that's one of the leaves of the palm in the shape, and today we're going to build exactly this. It's gonna be very beautiful at the end of the day. It is. Yeah, I'm struggling. I also will say that the Red River Hawk habitat is going to be looking very neat as well. But this habitat over here looks also pretty nice. It might be my favorite of the habitats we have in here. I mean, they're all relatively similar because I wanted to keep the style going. But yeah, this in particular turned out to be really nice. I had a little bit of a struggle to give them enough traversable area. That's what I wanted to say. My voice was already places. It was going places. Yeah, so I had a bit of a struggle to give them the traversable area they deserve. Yeah, I was very proud that this project kind of stick to a size that is realistically doable, rather than my other gigantic projects that are totally out of shape because, well, they look great, but are like always 1.5x or even 2x in terms of size realistically. I think this one over here is pretty much one. I think it's pretty much exactly the size it could be. The whole house is like 10 meters tall. I think that's realistic, but that also means that the corridors are not as wide and so on. And that's why I needed to kind of cramp a little bit more in than usual in a bigger space. I'm still very happy with how it turned out. It definitely turned out really nicely. I'm still pretty impressed by how versatile and how flexible the new pieces are to make different styles, because like, I really wanted to ensure that the animals not only have tropical vibes going, but also a tiny bit to their relative continents, even though it is pretty hard to get this done because I'm not really theming the areas whatsoever. But especially here, I try to mimic the African style a little bit with the building and with the walls and stuff. Well, it's up to you to judge if it worked out or not. I tried a couple of things that, you know, could work also with like an African area. So yeah, I mean, we do have a jungle anyways, but still there are like tiny differences. Yeah, it was really hard to do because of all the new pieces I wanted to use. They are pretty much, you know, Indonesian styled, Bali-esque. So this is the region they're coming from. And so I decided to, you know, mix them up with some other pieces, change the colors, and try to, you know, just blend this in a little bit nicer. I think it just really worked out by just placing a couple of those African pieces and paired with a bit of a different shading. It all just worked together. Yeah, there was a little test here if I can get a bit more light in, because honestly the light situation in the build is not really the greatest, which is, it's partially because of the lighting engine itself. It's no ray tracing or whatever, so you always come up with the same light, I guess. And then also because you can't really arrange the sun position, you're always stuck to what you have, and especially in these tropical parks, it's weird. Yeah, there's not really much to do about this. I really hope that in a future iteration of a Planet game, whatever that will be, hopefully the lighting engine will be overhauled to have a bit more options also indoors and stuff. You know, don't get me wrong, it's not looking bad by any means, but the lighting is always, yeah, flat. I think flat is the word that describes it the best. Flat is kind of what I feel always when I'm indoors, and this is why usually for screenshots and stuff in Planet Zoo, you always take them in the sunlight, in direct sunlight, because it just gives you that kind of crisp, contrasty vibe to the pictures. And excuse me, this is really good. Also, if you're wondering that my voice is a little bit not heavy at times from breathing wise, guys, the pollen allergy is kicking in like crazy. I haven't had it that heavy for a couple of years now. My nose is okay. I'm not sounding too nosy, but this year it's really the breathing is difficult. Difficult is the right term. I can even do sports and stuff, but talking and breathing, and especially doing longer voiceovers, yeah, is very hard. It's exhausting in its own. Without being exhausting, it's heavy. I can't really explain. I haven't had that. So if it continues being like that way, I might even go and check up if everything is right. But, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling totally good. It's just this weird heaviness during voiceovers and longer speaking periods. But it's fine, you know. I think the result should be to speak less, I guess. But that's the hardest thing for me in life. So, no, I'm just... sorry. Whatever. So, as I said, I'm trying to do my best here to do it a little bit more African style, even though I'm using the wrong thatch, if you will. It's not per se the wrong thatch, but... I just try to keep it relatively easy, but it's okay. It's like a building. It still looks, with the roof I used, a bit more Bali-esque, and Indonesian. It's fine. You know, maybe I'm just going to put some African kind of masks and face masks and stuff here to the side, and I'm happy with it. I don't know. We shouldn't overthink it. You know, the idea of this whole project is a tropical palm tree filled with a palm, with a tropical house with a lot of tropical plants, and that's definitely achieved. And so it's fine, I guess. But yeah, you can tell I'm just moving across the habitat and just fixing several things here and there, getting already right here into detail. It's important to put the enrichment items in relatively early on with your build. I was already a little bit late, I guess, but I still managed to squeeze them in early enough to build around them, because as you know, these enrichment items always do require quite some space to work, and so whenever you place them earlier in, you have the chance to work a little bit around them. It's a bit of a pity that it always then just kind of creates the same look, because everyone is trying to avoid getting too close to them, and so you always have the brighter and more open and spacious areas with those enrichment items. I wish that we had some that are a little bit more, well, precise when it comes to the tackling point, because I mean, you know, the scratch post over here, for example, theoretically you could just build this very close to a wall, because they will never use it from behind, they will only use it from the front or above. So I don't know, it's just me thinking about how you could even improve this, but we are speaking about, and I think this is something I have to mention at a point, because I just listened back to some of my other videos that I sound negative at some points, even though I don't want to, and it by any means is negative. The game is so good that obviously the nitpicks we have are really hard to point out when you don't talk about them, because they are like really little in comparison to the overall achievement of the game. I'm still happy because I keep saying that quite often, but we always have to remember and we remind ourselves that the level of freedom we get in this game, if you compare that, for example, to Zoo Tycoon and Zoo Tycoon 2 or whatever other zoo game, I think it's ridiculous. We got used to it, but it still is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I mean, just look at that. I just completely built this palm tree from scratch, and then I started doing some habitats in here, and realistically they are relatively tiny and narrow and thin, and still the animals can navigate the habitat on their own, and it looks really good. So it still is absolutely mind-blowing what this game achieves if you don't look at the things that obviously can be improved. But like, we are speaking at such a high level, so please don't take that just take it with a huge grain of salt when I say something like that. It's just like me trying to bring this into the, like, I imagine the game is in the 95% for me if I need to rate that. Like, honestly, 95%, 94, something around that, you know. I think my biggest caveat still is the climbing system, and some minor other things, but they are all minor. I can't give the game like a lower rating than that. Also, I just want to focus this rating on the game as it is right now, without having birds and fully aquatic animals. I don't want to judge it. I mean, obviously that would make my judgment even better, but I think it's unfair to kind of rate it lower because they're missing. I mean, I can't judge anything that is not existing, so what would I even do? I have to rate the game in here, and the stuff you get for the price you pay in relation to other games out there that have such a quality is absolutely fair. It's absolutely a very good price point compared to many other creative games out there that charge you for every single DLC as well. And if you buy the game in some just kind of discounts, or like in some Steam kind of discount weeks or whatnot, you really have a good price point, and then you can just purchase all the DLCs, which, fair enough, if you buy all of them, it already, you know, is quite something. But still, the game is so freaking good, and these free updates keep getting better and making the game better. I really have to emphasize that, because with all the, you know, complaints I have, I only want to make the game better. And frankly, we have to say that the devs are watching the videos. Maybe not every single one of it. And if some of you is there from Frontier, please sneakily go down in the comments and, I don't know, drop a comment with whatever anecdote you have about me, so I know that you're there. You don't need to bust yourself. But yeah, I know that you're watching, and many of our things get into the game. Yeah, speaking about the gizmos, speaking about invisible path, speaking about so many other things that we've been talking on our videos, and also kind of curating the feedback from the community is always helpful, especially when we are in London together with the devs. You can't imagine, even at dinner or something, we don't stop talking about the game. We just like, oh, can we have this? Can we have that? It's always really good. So with that said, we are at the end of the time lapse, and I feel like I have to talk about the habitat a little bit in the real-time part. So let's exactly do this. And here we go in the real-time part. Actually, second time recording for me. I tried to fix a couple things which I wasn't really successful with, but we're here with the Fossa habitat. I changed something that I have to do in the final fight as well. Look at the fencing over here I had to do, because these little Fossas, they're eating themselves out of this one like crazy. There was a German in me, themselves. Yeah, you see one snoozing over here. Nice, to have a good time. In the first attempt of my recording, they were just like eating themselves out of here like crazy. And look at that, there's already the Fossa around here, so we can have a little look. Yeeted, it did just yeet it over here to us. Oh my lord, this is a beautiful showcase. What the heck? What the heck? Why is this even happening? And why the hell? Like, there's even like a fence on top of here. I don't know, 8 meters in the air. It was insane. But that's that. But now let's have a look at this beautiful habitat. I really like how it turned out. So we have some of these like windows to check on the Fossa. Like there's a ditch down here. You are not too close to them anyway. So that's kind of the idea about this, having like another window. And the idea is you can see them passing by almost at eye level, which I think is beautiful. And then we go around this corner, which is like super detailed in terms of like a lot of foliage and stuff. I can imagine putting some enrichment education items here. And then you're getting into this corner, which again, there's like the ditch in between to ensure that you're not too close to them. But you get this kind of cool raised view. They pass by this like rock and the whole thing goes up. Either they just climb onto this little hill over here on which you can see them strolling around on top, or they will move down onto the ditch and you can see them passing by here with the water. And it looks super cool when they're like passing by, climbing over this thing over here, which is funny. I'm not sure why they don't escape over here. Like, it would be easy for them to yeet them off this area. They just don't do it. I don't know why. And then you get into the last very nice viewing area. I'm wondering where the other one is, by the way. I think it's like inside of the house, maybe. But so yeah, you've got this little waterfall where the water is like pouring out of this yeah, what is that? Container, vase, pot, whatever you want to call that one. So really pouring out into the little river, and then you got that one. I just love it. The habitat looks so damn good. It's not realistic by any means. They could eat themselves out pretty easily. Like, there's one thing in my mind which I might do with all of this habitat, which will make this look very realistic and very nice indeed. So potentially I'm going to put some netting on this side here, so that the whole habitat is basically enclosed by a netting. It would still give us a very cool view onto the animal, but then it makes the whole thing feel a bit more realistic, also to separate them from our friends the gibbon. And I've got a little issue here. You can see I built all the climbing frames for the gibbon, but for some odd reasons they are not able to get into this testing area in the back. It definitely is within the habitat, but for some weird reasons they just can't seem to get here, even though it is all within the traversable area. I'm not sure why they don't. Maybe it's too far off. I gotta have to solve that issue, because in the final file it somehow works, but then again not always. But yeah, so this is the central area. As we said, you can see they're still strolling around here in the other area. Very nice indeed. Yeah, not really sure what exactly is going on here, but I will iron that out. Let's quickly go into the habitat of the Fossa, whatever you want to call this animal, because there's something cool to see in here. Look, first of all, there's the animal. Let's see, there's one. You've got two options to go out. Like, you can go this side, as they do. Also, their screams are like kind of creepy. Or you go this side while it's, well, the foliage is eating itself out as well. This is such a weird effect. I can't tell. It's really weird. Yeah, and then we can just, you know, kind of make our way here through the jungle, like very lush jungle. There you can see one of these wonderful animals. Hello, how are you doing? Are you enjoying your habitat? You doing really good? Okay. You can also have a look at the other side. There's nothing to spoil. It's just like the backstage buildings. But yeah, you've got a very lush one. We can actually try to stroll around here. Look at that. It works. Oh my god, it did not work out pretty well for us. We died. No, we're up here again. Let's try to take that one. Okay, on this side. Let's go over here. And let's go up. Oh no, we fell down again. And we're up again. Okay, see that one. And we come to the back. I mean, just look at the lighting and stuff. It looks so good. I'm so happy with the habitat. So happy. I really hope you guys are too, but I'm mega happy with the habitat. Let's just jump out of this cam to show you a bit from a different angle. I mean, just look at how it really went in this spot, and it feels so natural. It makes the whole corridor feel nice. Like if we zoom out, yeah, it just fits in. There's something sticking out here with the palm tree I don't really like, but that's all. I mean, if that's all, we can deal with that. Yeah, such a big fan. Such a big fan. Can we just have one of you guys? I'm just a little bit annoyed that you're just, you know, always standing around there. Let me just bring you here to the back. Hello. You just go here. There you go. And then we can follow it around. Yeah, it seems like Frontier has done a couple things with the full release version. Certain things don't really work out as I have built them, so I have to, as always, iron out some of the issues that come with the full release. Sometimes they change, you know, how the traversable area works and stuff like that. It's a little bit annoying, but we will end up getting it. Oh, look at that. I haven't seen the animation yet. Look. It's so good. It's quite tiny in comparison to that one. But it's good. Yeah, I like it. We all like it. Okay, let's go. Go. We can see how you take the... It's so gentle, right? It's taking its time. It's such a chill animal. I don't know. And now it's eating itself somewhere, right? Oh my god, onto the tree. Gosh, that creepy sound. Excuse me, but that looks certainly creepy up here. And now it's going down. And there we go. Yeah, wonderful. I am absolutely happy with the habitat. I like it the way it is. I like the way they can interact with the habitat. I like the way how the habitat interacts with the pathway, just having some viewing areas here and there. I just am pretty much in awe with this habitat. I hope you guys are too. It was a lot more work than it looked like, I hope, because just really making sure this all feels nice in here and still offers the traversable area for them was quite the pain. So yeah, that's that. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. Thank you for the ongoing support of this project. Let me zoom out so you can see what we're doing again. And yeah, keep looking forward to the next ones. I promise you, it's only getting better from here. Yeah, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for watching as always. I would be very happy if you might join the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That would be absolutely mega. But until then, have a great time. I talk to you in the next one, and goodbye. Hey everyone, welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today with a little special. As you can see, my pronunciation on the word special and this little sneak peek already showed you what you've clicked to. This is going to be a rather creative build. So I've got a story to tell, but I think for all of you who know the Asian water monitor or monitor lizards in general and Asia in general, they know that there is a weird connection between these supermarkets of 7-Eleven. By the way, I'm not sponsored by any means. We don't even have it in Germany, by the way. But it's, yeah, very obvious that there is a certain connection between those two. I myself have actually experienced that while being in Thailand. I think it was in Phuket, but I'm not entirely sure if it was Phuket or Krabi, or I think maybe it was Krabi though. But yeah, I remember that I was on a stroll with my best friend back then, and we were just getting some goods for our beloved girlfriends, and we just went there, and it wasn't necessarily in the shop, but it was like very close besides, and we were like, you know, staying away from that for a moment until it was gone. That was very weird, and then people just told us that this is just normal. So I was like, you know what, then let's just do exactly that. Build a lovely 7-Eleven for the game, which has two purposes. So the first one is you can actually use that shop. It's gonna be in the workshop after this episode right away, so you can use that yourself, which I think is a good thing to have. And secondly, it's obviously a very fun build. Just in general, they are strolling around. One thing I really do not like is that we don't have any climbing with these animals in the game, not even on an enrichment item, which would have been cool because it is so iconic for them to just basically kind of just climbing on everything. I'm not sure why, and then they just chill below the air conditioner or whatnot. Like there's so many videos out there in which these monitors just go in just shops like that. I think Japan is also very famous for that. Not only Thailand, but I think Japan is quite known for 7-Eleven shenanigans and stuff like that. Don't remember if it was also with these type of lizards or like different ones, but they all seem to be very much enjoying this shop quite a bit. I can only say this might also be the reason why 7-Eleven isn't quite in Germany quite yet. I've heard they want to, but so we don't have monitors or lizards in Germany. So maybe that's like we do have lizards, but they're like small, tiny. Like we don't have them here, so it's not really a good spot for them to be, I guess. Their best clients are not there, so you know that might be the reason why they didn't move here. However, the building itself, and you've seen that pretty much from the thumbnail already, is going to be super detailed. Like I really wanted to go in and make it super detailed. The only thing that is not entirely detailed is the interior. I could have gone this way, but traversable area still is a thing. So I wanted to keep it relatively open for you guys to go in and do whatever you want with it. I built a couple of cupboards, I built a couple of little product blueprints, not like super detailed, but you can basically use them to style your own if you want. I kind of think that this was the best way to go. And I spent quite a lot of time finding the right materials to get this very typical 7-Eleven vibe going. Yeah, you know, it's 7-Eleven. I don't know why. It's not always in tropical areas. Obviously, it's also quite a lot in Europe. But for me personally, 7-Eleven is a direct connection to big holidays, like far away and tropical regions, summer, hot, air conditioning, getting this mosquito stuff that they have there. It's the best in the world, and I don't know, I can't buy it here, but it's like a kind of mosquito cream. It's legit the only thing that ever worked in my life. I can't tell you the name, obviously. I can't speak Thai or whatnot, but it's the best ever. I bought so many of those in Thailand, but since it's 6 years ago, it's all gone by the time. So that's that. Yeah, I honestly, I enjoyed building this because it gave me a lot of holiday vibes. I'm also quite happy with the outcome. What I'm not super happy about is the sign. Like, it's okay. It does what it does, but it's not like by any means on Ryzen's level or whatnot. I still have to watch how she's doing that. Like, I know one technique that I just didn't want to go into because it is just freaking time consuming like crazy. So I went in and made it a little bit more simple, which ended up in a result. As I said, this is just from a distance okay. From closer up, it's not even okay. It's you know, you can tell what it is, and that's about it. Also, I would have loved to use a neon sign for that, but it's just like it wouldn't have worked with the way I did it now. I would have gone in and just changed a couple things, and you know, but again, as I said, at the end of the day, it does what it does. It looks exactly how it should look, and so that was the target for today's build. It's not meant to be like this ultra hyper realistic, you know, burning down your computer with only one sign, which Ryzen can do. She can achieve that, or lighter. They're both very much helpful when it comes to using your computer as a heater. Trying to find the right words here. But yeah, so I didn't want to do that exactly. And this build is also in our Palm Zoo build in another corner, just to connect that. I think I will sneakily put the 7-Eleven into the Palm build, just as a little, you know, kind of Easter egg, which is not really an Easter egg because Easter eggs need to be found, and this one is basically not, you can't oversee it. But you know what, I think it's fun. It's just kind of a little story we have, and so that's that. Yeah, making the 7-Eleven sign, as you can see, looks pretty much straightforward over here, but trust me, I've done a couple iterations before I did that. So yeah, again, I'm totally happy with the idea. It was inevitable. I think it's exactly what I wanted. Again, just as I told you a week or two ago, I want to do more Rudy stuff again. This is just really not going the normal road and trying to do what is best, I guess. I'm just here to do what I like best, and this is just thinking out of the box, doing things that you technically you can do it, but what most people wouldn't necessarily do from the get-go, and just exploring what the game offers as well. And I think, you know, It's a zoo game, but obviously you can also build a 7-Eleven and you can use it in your zoos. I mean, why not? And there are like so many ways of building your zoo. So you, for example, can also, I mean, there's no hindering you. You can also do like Asian areas and rural areas with like areas where animals live in the free wild. You don't even need to do a zoo, because Planet Zoo allows you to do exactly this. You can build your own little Thai city, harbor city, and just put a couple of tropical animals in that would live in that region. So, you know, chances are there, you can do whatever you want. And then a 7-Eleven obviously comes in handy. Now, as I said, I tried really to go exactly into the vibe, and this is why I also created that little palette of cool stuff for me. One thing I need to address, and this is my own stupidity. I need to address my own stupidity. I have absolutely no idea why I placed all these pieces in a weird angle towards the building. I could have just taken the same angle as the walls are placed, but I just didn't. And so I ended up having this huge struggle of building the things on a different axis, because otherwise they wouldn't have matched up. And so I ended up making these like cupboards and shelves and stuff completely in an off angle, and then I needed to place them back in a good angle. It was like double the work because I'm stupid. So whenever you build, make sure to build on the same, at least on the same axis. You know, we have issues with the axis tools and stuff anyway, so at least build on the same axis and be not as stupid as I was and just place random things in a super weird angle. I mean, at least put it in a snappable angle of 15 plus degrees or whatever, but I didn't even do that. So yeah, it turned out to be very annoying, but that was just like a little episode of Rudy's stupidity. That's the word, stupidity. Oh my god. Yeah. As I said, I also wanted to go with the vibe, and I built these shelves in a more kind of run down way. Like, as I said, I wanted to make one of these tropical ones and not like too shiny and new, even though there are obviously shiny and new ones. But then go with the classical, like the classical stuff. But also put a shop in, like a little counter here that I also wanted to style exactly that. I mean, you know, I ended up being very happy with the build. It's something I haven't done so often in the game, and I'm just very happy with how it turned out. It's very simplistic in the inside, like very much just putting in what I have, not going too much over the top, just trying to make sure that it looks like as if there's anything going on in there, or like as if there's something going on in there. Putting a couple shelves in there. You know, it could also be in a time where a lot of products are not available. Who knows, like maybe rainy season and no deliveries can be done because of thunderstorms, whatever. I'm trying to find excuses why I didn't put too many items in. But yeah, so that's that. You could have gone the extra mile by putting even more things in, but I think to sell the idea, this is more than even needed. I could have also kept this empty and it would have sold the idea as well, but that seemed a little bit too low for me, so I just decided to go in and put a couple more stuff in here to make it all look a bit more at least as if it's in use. Or maybe it's also empty because they just decided, okay, you know what, the monitors took over, whatever. Just leave it as it is until it's empty. I don't know, but you know, it looks like something. Putting a couple, you know, products here and there, just recoloring some of them. Again, as I said, you could go way more into detail, making that all look super natural and super realistic. But as I said, the idea, I think, sell the idea. This is like a good concept the way it is. Yeah, putting some shelves also to the outside, putting some ventilators in, just making sure that this all is exactly as it should be. And that's basically exactly how this whole thing turned out. The best part of the build was actually putting the plants and stuff in, and the clutter and all the decals and stuff at the end. Simply because that just really gives you that feeling of a tropical area, just like a 7-Eleven by the side of the road. Just a couple of poles in here that you can see, making sure that the electricity is connected as you would expect it from over there. I used way too little cables. You would need to use 1.7 million cables in these areas to make it look exactly like it looks there. It's always so ridiculous how many cables are like hanging randomly in the air and just connect to houses. It's, for me as a German, where Germany is very structured and very tidy when it comes to these kind of things, this just kind of always creeps me out how extremely open this everything is. But it just, you know, it works, it's fine, but it's just something like I'm not used to when all these cables go in. So again, this is also way too tidy and way too way too easy. But that's about that. I'll leave you alone with a couple of minutes of music, and the rest is going to be some time-lapse, not time-lapse, cinematics for this build. As I said, you can drop down in the comments. I will put the linky to the park file in there. You can grab it, or it's not a park file, it's basically the blueprint of the habitat. And then you have the whole building and every asset of it, and you can also do whatever you want with it. But I would be even more happy if you like this type of stuff and you're here for this craziness. Check if you're subscribed to the channel. If not, please do so. Help me out on growing a little more. Tell the YouTube algorithm you like the stuff. The last couple episodes have been better, so we're getting there. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. Thank you so much for everything, for every minute you watch, because that's necessarily the best thing you can do for free. And if you feel super fancy, you can also join me as a member for only, I think, 99 cents was the cheapest one. You get some sneak peeks, and you could have seen that one also earlier. So that's that. Have a good time. Thank you so much, and enjoy the cinematics. Enjoy your day. Have a good time. Stay safe, and goodbye. Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. Welcome back to the Palm, today with our beloved Red River Hawk. But first of all, we're going to fill in some water around the palm tree so it's all getting a little bit more tropical. Thank you so much for the insane feedback of yesterday's weird monitor video. This is the reason why you have the hawks today. I planned to have the monitor first, so this build is already quite a little bit further into the project, so I'm gonna switcheroo these two, simply so you don't have two monitor builds after each other. I gotta say though that this is hopefully also a very nice habitat today, but yeah, yesterday's response on the 7-Eleven thing was just ridiculous, and I loved it. I loved building it, I loved seeing your reactions. I love doing this a little bit. I loved seeing how many people got it in the workshop, and if you still have no idea what I'm talking about, check my channel. There has been a rather special build yesterday about the Red River Hawk. It's relatively fun, or I should say it's pretty fun. So yeah, you gotta better check this out. It's really cool. I'm just genuinely happy that you guys also thought that this was such a cool thing. But now let's speak about this wonderful build today. You can see that with the beginning, I'm starting to shape the whole building a little bit from the outside with some greenery and stuff. It's all filled in, and this very episode today is going to show you how the finished arms of, or like actually I should say leaves of the build will look like. It's gonna be very cool with how this all works together with, like, you know, the monkeys swinging around, or the gibbons I should say, with the foliage in place, with a little, you know, seating area at the end of this arm. It's really cool. It really looks super tropical, and the tour today will also be very fun, simply because you can see everything tied together now. And honestly, I also like this Red River Hawk habitat a lot. I mean, I loved the Sicily one as well. It was definitely fun, but this one over here looks a little bit more natural, a little bit more tropical, and I think it just fits the project a lot better. So yeah, I'm super happy. And also I'm super happy about the traversable area. These animals seem to really have a good time in this area. Just like, I mean, if you have the monitor built before, you know how absolutely hard the traversable area is to deal with. It's like you put a stone down and half of the habitat is not traversable anymore. It's really weird. But with those wonderful fellas over here, they seem to be able to just go over everything, and so I could go a lot more crazy with the detailing and just put a lot more things in, and I just felt like it looks really cool at the end of the episode. I really do think it's fun. Once things really work out, they obviously are a lot more fun. So yeah, Put also like a little bit of a different planter in to, you know, just separate this a bit more from the gibbon area. And just in general, I wanted to create a couple more designs. So we are coming up here with a new fence design. In fact, I think we have 2 at the end of the day. So it's really cool to have different types of fences as well in these different areas. So just in general, I'm very happy with how this all turned out and came together. It's basically a very cool situation to have in this game to be able to build a project like that relatively. I don't want to say quick because I spent quite a couple hours on it, but relatively straightforward is basically fitting. Just making sure that we have like a little bit of a natural viewing area over here, as you can see, playing a lot with the decals, with some stones, with some leaf clutter. Sometimes you don't need concrete, sometimes all you need is some clutter to make things look natural and realistic. I'm very happy with how this all turned out. I can't wait for the tour today. It's really like I'm looking forward to jumping in game to show you the tour. But don't skippity skip. Stay with me. Give me those watch time. Okay. No, if you want to skip, it's fine to skip. But yeah, here you can see, by the way, the traversable area is really good. I had this little lower water, like very shallow water over here for them to run through, because I think it feels and looks really cool if they have a little bit of water in the middle, just kind of little splashes and stuff. And I also went in relatively brave with the foliage in this one, so it's relatively lush in comparison to the other ones, but I wanted to create that just to give this really immersive feeling of a lush habitat, which I think I delivered. I think it really worked out well. And I want to address one comment in specific, because I found this comment interesting in a way. It was on Reddit to one of my screenshots recently from the Fossa. I still have no idea how this animal is pronounced, and honestly, weird cat-like Madagascan animal, okay? Which is, it's still cute though. And I said that this was one of my best, if not the best screenshot I've ever taken. And I stand by that. I think this screenshot, like the thumbnail of the last episode, was by far one of the best I ever took. In fact, the episode is about to be the most successful video of the entire DLC so far. It's definitely the best video in terms of views. It's definitely the best video in terms of click rate. So I think I have a point that this one was really good. And also the person claimed that recently it has been a lot too often, like I forgot the word what it was, but superlatives is maybe too much, but like every single video is like the best ever. First of all, that's not true, but recently I think definitely my builds have been a lot better than before, but this is not because of superlatives or because something is happening or whatever, or clickbait. No, it's easy to explain. A, I've got more time than usual because I took holidays for all the builds. B, this DLC brought a lot of great pieces in and a lot of stuff. And C, and this is something unfair in a way, because I don't like to say it, because that means that I confirm it and that I basically have given up to agree anything else against it. Building tropical builds or something with water in the game naturally is better and performs better. So that all together makes my builds better than before. And as much as I love, for example, Yosemite Valley, as much as I love this project, if you compare the builds from Yosemite Valley with Sicily or even this project, there is absolutely no argument that these projects over here are much better in every single way. They are more ingenuity, is more like, there's a lot more like innovation in here. That's the word I was looking for. There is a lot more nature beauty in here, which is not because I became better. It's more because we have so much more at hand now. But in general, it's all a lot more fleshed out, and this is all thanks to Yosemite. Don't get me wrong, I still love this project a lot, but Yosemite was a test balloon for 3 years in which I learned so many things, new techniques, and all that stuff went into the new project. So it's just obvious that these are my best ever. And recently, I don't know why, but especially with this DLC, the builds have been my, like the Panda project was the first one where I really was like, oh yeah, that might be something, and it turned out beautifully. But then this DLC came around the corner, and obviously then these things gotten better and better. So it's nothing to do with superlatives. I think it's very easy to explain. However, I'm not saying that this habitat over here is my best ever. It's a good one. It's a very good one, but it's not at the level of the others I just mentioned, which is normal. But yeah, I mean, if you guys think that I am going clickbait and I'm doing clickbait, I think either I have a very weird perception of myself and the channel, or your like the bar that needs to be, you know, jumped over to become clickbait is very low, because I have a hard time looking at my channel to find any big clickbait. There are a couple of those I made intentionally, and I even talked about this why and just made fun out of it. For example, the reaction video to our friend Let's Game It Out. So these type of things are obviously clickbaity in a way, but the rest is like, I mean, sure, I have to write my titles and my stuff in a way that people click on it. And in times of YouTube where Mr. Beast is shouting 8.5 minutes at you and other people putting their astonished faces on every single media out there, and others kind of put people with a broken leg and bleeding stuff on thumbnails, of course, I need to do something that people click. Like, try to run a YouTube channel in 2023 without anything interesting on your thumbnail and just show whatever you did without anything in particular attractive. You will not be able to run YouTube at all. So sure, there has to be something. And honestly, I'm not even good at that. I'm not good at that because I can't find this with myself. I just can't do it. Like, obviously, look at gaming channels who put their faces on the builds. Like, they just like went places. They have like so much better views and stuff. I just can't. It's not my thing, and will never be. So yeah, putting my face on videos where my face isn't shown is basically weird anyways. And then these few times I did this already felt super uncomfortable in general, so I will never do this. I have no, you know, don't get me wrong, I have no issues showing my face, but I don't know, it doesn't belong in video thumbnails, in my opinion, which is unfortunately a very, very, very different opinion than YouTube itself and the algorithm thinks. But hey, I mean, I'm not here for the algorithm, just a little bit though. Anyhow, so we are almost at the end of the time lapse, and I can't wait to show this habitat to you in the real time part. It's so good. I'm doing some rearranging at the end with the climbing areas for our friends the gibbon, and I put some in. But it's only for a good one. God, I just can't wait to show it to you. It's so good. It's so much fun to go through here. Also with the planters I did, and just doing some rearrangement. By the way, here's a little spoiler of the monitor habitat. Don't look too much onto it. It's yeah, you'll still like the video. The monitor habitat is also a very good one, and I might even add something at the end of the video to make it more exclusive, because there's still something not done. But yeah, so this is the moment where we jump into the real-time part. I can't wait to show it to you. So let's do it. 3, 2, 1. In the real-time part, and oh, I'm so happy. I mean, just look at this frame over here. Oh, we can also see a hawk already in the background. It's so good. Just as a little quick heads up where we are. This is where this, oh my god, look at just that. This is so phenomenal. This is exactly what I meant. Oh boy, this is such a cool moment. Yeah, I put already some Siamangs in, as you can tell. Also did a couple of build here in the center. I'm not sure if that was in the video. I think it's in the next video. So yeah, a couple of things I've already done. And then this is the monitor area of the next episode. And also there's going to be something in the background, and then we are almost done with the whole build. But here is already kind of a little showcase of how it will turn out. You can see there's everything on the left hand side done. A lot of clutter, just left it very rural, very organic, as if something already started to grow here. And then on the right hand side you can see this is the hawk habitat, and oh, it's looking so good, just with all the trees and stuff in here. And then they have their area in the middle in which they can run. And then you've got this viewing spot where we can basically see everything. You can go to the side and then go to this side, and there are the hawks just going in the middle, having some water. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. It's a little bit on the small side of things, you know, it's a rather small habitat for them. I'm still debating with myself what I will do about this, if I will give them some outside area or some backstage area. Not sure, because it is definitely more or less on the small side. There's one running across here, just looking so good. But there's really not that much space I can make free, simply because there isn't. I mean, I could make them like a floating terrace at the end, something like that, or terrace, you know, that would be working in a way. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Oh, look at this, little scratchy scratch. Look at Stretch. A very good body control of yours to do that on this cliff over here. Very nice. Yeah, as I said, it's super cool. It's super lush. It's super nice. You've got all the climbing frames above us where they can technically climb over, but I think we have no one going here. Rather easy at the moment. And then you've got this area with a little tree in the middle, and then you can see how they can roam around, have a little sleep here. Got some roots on the ground, and then as I said, this is the separation planter. And then on this hand side, you've got the little chill area for our friends, the gibbons and the Siamangs. And then this is a little bit of a storefront end where you can grab some drinks or so on, and then sit here and obviously have a nice look at this lagoon. We're going to put some trees and stuff at the end so that this all looks a lot more nice. But I mean, I can imagine sitting over here would be such a dream, like just like by the lakeside, and just watch through the lagoon. You can hear the animals, you know, you can see them even swing by, and just in general very nice. And I think this is really something I wanted to achieve with this build. At the end I might actually add so many more animals so that they will actually go here. I'm a bit confused why they don't. Let's follow this one if it's going all the way over, or if there's maybe something I broke. Oh, look at that, they're going there. So maybe I broke something in the course of it, but not sure. Could be. Have you seen that again? Oh, I love this, super cool movement. Okay, this one is coming back as well. Yeah, I can't really do too many of the enrichment items to the outside, simply because we can't have any food enrichment there, simply because the keepers will not get there. It's a bit of a pity, but that's how it is. Yeah, let me just quickly check if they can go there. So we can actually click U, for example, and then see that. Looks actually pretty okay to me. Can they get all the way to the back? Let's go all the way. And then we are here. Ah, no, look at that. This is the problem. They can't really get to the ground, and hence they don't have the drink. Kimmy will not have the drink, and then they cannot. There is some torso area that shouldn't be in. Okay, I gotta fix that. I'm not sure why this doesn't work. Maybe this is because they can't really get there. Something might be blocked in the middle. Could be. I will check this, why exactly they can't make the way here. Because the other sides work. Let me just quickly show the other side. When we go all the way here. Because this is where the Fossa is. You can tell that this one is working in the back here. And then they will be able to get here and always climb above us. If I just disable this, you can totally see how that should work out. Oh, I love that. I really do love this. Okay, so I'll be there to fix this in the future. Not exactly sure what is blocking too much of the view or of the climbing. It might actually be that there is something blocking the climbing here. So when I was building the trees and stuff, it might be that some of the trees got in the way. But I can't really say which one, because it worked. So maybe it's maybe it's that one even only. Sometimes it's just the elephant grass, you know. We all know our mighty super OP elephant grass. Maybe that has been already it. Let me just quickly check that, and then we're done with the episode. Sometimes, as I said, it's just that. Maybe this one's already coming our way. No, it's not. Okay. It's very hard to click them. Very hard to click them in play. There you go. I did this. Awesome. Okay, so climbing is enabled. No, it's still not working. As you can tell, it's not yellow. Weird, because it worked. It definitely worked. I'm not sure why exactly. They can definitely also go down. Yeah, they can now escape here, right? This is weird, guys. This is weird. I might actually change this after the episode. Well, not sure what exactly that was, so I can also redo that. It should reset this. Okay, at least they cannot escape anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this, and then we'll have a good time at the end with the final tour. It's gonna be awesome. The final tour is gonna be awesome. Let me just go once into the habitat so you can see it's full glory. Ah, look at that view. I love it. This view, let alone, is showcasing what I meant. Let me just see if I can have a good time of day where there's a bit of sun getting in. Ah, look, there you go. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Ah, this looks beautiful. Like, let's zoom a little if we can. Even a bit more. Ah, there you go. It's so good looking. I really do admire that. Okay, anyways, guys, I really hope you had a good time with today's episode. I know I did. So hopefully you did too. I would love to see you guys on the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It helps me out a bunch. And yeah, just have a good time. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. I talk to you next one. Until then, goodbye. Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. Welcome everyone to the real water monitor habitat. So why do I say real? Well, in case you have missed it out, I already did something with the water monitors, which was not necessarily a habitat. It had something to do with the shop 7-Eleven. For those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, check out the video. So that said, we are today building, the fourth and last habitat of the DLC animals, the DLC habitat animals, I should say. In this palm. So we are in episode number 5. This means the 5th animal, the 4th habitat animal, plus the sloth, obviously. And this one is the hardest of all of the habitats. Well, actually, because of the footprint as it is. First of all, thank you for all of your very, very good comments in the last videos. I'm super stoked about all of your views and all of your opinions on this project, and especially that you like this different challenge of building in this rather small footprint within the big palm as a building. However, I must say that with all the other animals that are quite okay when it comes to traversing certain areas, you know, the Fossa can, I still can't pronounce that one. I have to hear it somewhere. You guys gave me the, you know, description of how to pronounce it, but I still can't. Anyways, this one can climb. Obviously, the gibbon can climb too. Our little piggy obviously can do wonderful things as well. They're pretty nice in terms of going over rocks and stuff. And the sloth as an exhibit animal doesn't really require any traversable area. But this one over here does feel a bit painful, simply because it is another lizard in the game. And as you all know, or if you know, or if you've played this game already in the past with the other animals, such as the Nile monitor, such as the crocodiles, such as the Komodo dragon, which I think is the closest when it comes to the traversable area to this one, they are painful to build with, simply because they take the whole footprint of the animal, and then you have to imagine they just circle around the center point of the body by 360 degrees to kind of create a circle. And this circle is basically the relevance that you need to take into account in order to make sure that they can go through spaces, and hence it is super painful to make them navigate your habitat. And yeah, this is why this turned out to be a very tricky habitat to do. Also with the deep diving, I needed to redo the underwater viewing multiple times. I think overall, time-wise, this habitat took me the longest from all of the habitats I did in here, simply to get the traversable area right in a way. You know, you could say this now is all, it's Sandbox and it doesn't matter and blah, blah, blah. But I gotta say, it's not that easy. It's really not that easy. I really want always my projects to be at least somewhat enjoyable, and sure, I could have, just went in and go like crazy with the habitats design and then just put them in one spot. But honestly, they would have ended up as like basically an animatronic, because they would have just stayed in one spot all the time. And this is not what we're here for, we want to see the animals in action and let them benefit from this great system that the game offers, even though that at times it does have a lot of painful things to go through. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It was tricky to do, as I said, it was tricky to build, but it turned out so great in the whole concept of this zoo project that I'm just very happy with it. Also, the little designs we did here and there with some walls and stuff, really cool. And we will have a wonderful little shop at the end that is going to be in the last episode. of this entire project. But you will actually see this already in today's video, because you will see that in the final tour. I'm gonna have to zip a drink real quick. My voice is turning away from me, so I'll be back immediately. Alright, that should do the trick. Yeah, pollen allergy is real. I'm very happy that it's not as nosy as it is normally at the moment. Let me just knock on wood 3 times. I don't know if you hear that, but it's really, oh my god, I can't, like, I love spring, but for the sake of being pollen allergic, it's not the greatest time for recording videos or just in general speak a lot. That goes well into, you know, the nosiness and also having issues to keep the voice alive. But anyways, that's just like, you know, a little bit of a off topic here. But as I said, it was a painful experience then again to build in here. And let me just take that opportunity, okay? I've done my review of the game. If you haven't seen that one, highly recommend looking into the video of my review of Planet Zoo. After 3 years and almost 2,000 hours in the game, I came to a conclusion. I'm not spoiling my result, but it might be a bit surprising to someone. I saw that some people were a bit surprised by the rating, but it's okay. I think I gave good reasons to why it is the way it is. Let me just speak about the traversable area. You always have to see that with the biggest amount of salt when I talk about that, because the system is just absolutely insane what they are doing over here. However, in 3 years of experience, we haven't really seen significant improvements. It's really, like, I really love that they have, for example, reduced the amount of deep diving requirements for some animals. But it still is rather insane how big in relation to the animals certain things have to be in order to make them work. And I think if there's anything I want to have improved in the future for a successor or for like a bigger update or for the next free update, it's definitely the traversable area. At least like give me a slider or something to, I don't know, override the system and say, you know what, you can glitch into some pieces, I don't care. Or for example, foliage. Let's make foliage, at least those like bush pieces and stuff, let's make them invisible to them or whatever. Like, there's so much in here that I really think Frontier can make a huge leap forward, also in terms of performance. Like, let's say all the bushes and stuff get rid of their block, or like, I don't know what you would call that, but physics in basically physics in terms of blocking the animals, and just, you know, be bushes, I guess, that they can just walk through. That'd be great. And then like give us toggles again, like just as they did with climbing. I think it's super important to have something like that, because as you can tell over here, this has been insanely painful to get this right. And like every single time I thought, okay, now I got it, something else was moved a millimeter and everything was broken again. That has to be improved. That just has to be improved. It takes away sometimes from the fun of the game. Sure, you can make like insane habitats, but I just recently watched the video of the lady's Gibbon Islands in her franchise project, which, by the way, beautiful habitat, I like it. But she suffered from the exact same problems. She also made a beautiful habitat that realistically would be way more than enough in terms of size. But in the game, it was way too small for the requirements the animals have, which is fun because the requirements are rather realistic. But simply because the traversable area is so nitpicky, a habitat that usually has like 1,000 square meters, for example, ends up being a habitat with only 250 square meters, just 1/4 of the entire size, simply because of like the traversable area being not good, or not calculated in a good way. And I seriously hope, and this is something I have experienced, especially in this project, which I hope they will improve. Like, the more the animals require water or climbing, it's easier, but as soon as they have a huge demand for land space, oh boy, that's complicated. That is super complicated. And I want it to be good, because these animals in the game are fantastic when they move. Also, by the way, I just love the fact that they just run away and run across here. The sloth, just like a little bit I implemented. And this is, by the way, something you've seen in the last episode already. Here you have also the time lapse of how I made the entrance area and how I made this look good. So yeah, that's mostly about it. And I would say we do see and hear each other. Well, you don't see me quite now. Next week, hopefully my camera will be reinstated. It is. I also got my lights, by the way, but some cable shenanigans has to be fixed and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. All the last little things before we can hopefully finally live stream next week. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, about that, it's time now to wrap up the time-lapse and meet you guys in the real-time part. Right, we are back in the real-time part, and you can see still the larger ones running across all the beams. Look at them, they're just coming over to us here. What a good coincidence that is. Now, as they move over, they are basically moving into... Oh, look at that, there's someone hanging. They're basically moving towards the monitor habitat. They are not quite going here because I haven't fixed some of the climbings in this save file. I have done it in the final one. But yeah, this is the monitor habitat. You can say, oh, there's one. Look at that. There is one of the water monitors just passing by into the sunlight. Oh, I love that. Look at this. Oh, that can very well be the thumbnail of today's episode. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, this is amazing. Very nice. Oh, I love it. I'm just gonna zoom in real quick a little because I just like it so much. This is such a that's really such a brilliant shot. I really do love it. I really do love it. Ah, so good. So good. Okay, well, let's see where this fellow is going because it's just very good to follow up here. As you can see, the movement on the stones is rather cool. Like, I really do like it. It's pretty nice. The touch interface of the stones is relatively good, and I do honestly like this a lot. As much as I hate the the problems with the with the terrestrial area, it's such a good thing. Also, I'm quite a bit of a fan to use that piece over here in these habitats. You could hide it a bit better, but I think it's a cool piece that resembles a little bit of the stuff that in real zoos also sometimes is used. And the more dirt upon these things are, the better it looks. Let's just follow this thing around a little because we are just getting into the water tank, and yeah, I think it's looking really good. Look at that. It just got into the water. Maybe it's gonna do a little divey dive for us. Let's just be little kids real quick for a moment so we can see it from underwater. Can you just do a little dive for us? I quite like the idea also of having these underwater viewings with a little bit of a touch base here so you can have a better look into the lower ground. So I really do admire these kind of things. It's not going to do the divey dive for us, is it? Not really. Okay, well, that's that. Let's go further and see if we can find the other one. Is the other one chilling around someone over here? Nope. Where are you? Where are you? Hello? I think we have to go in for a second to see if we can find the other one. Okay, so there's no one over here. I still love this. I still love this ramp. It's just, I think it looks good. It looks really good. And then we've got that one. Is it diving now? No, it's not. Okay, let's just quickly... We can't go through the water. Okay, we have to make our way through here. Hello, can you do divies? No, you don't. Okay, you just go out of the water. I'm also a big fan of this wall, by the way. Maybe the other one is hiding behind the wall. No, it's... Oh, there it is. It is. Look at that. It's chilling over here. Oh, it just got some of the flesh over here. So got itself some food and now a well-deserved rest. Hello? You doing... Ooh, where am I? You doing good? You doing good? How are you doing? Oh, look at these. Love it. Oh, look at that. There's the other one coming. Oh, I wish we can... Can we just turn the sun real quick so that we have it in the sunlight? Oh, please, let me just... Yeah, look at that. We can do it. Oh, this looks so fantastic. Sorry, I'm obsessed with that. It's looking so good. Okay, let me just do another little shot over here. Because it's so... Oh, boy, look at that. It's a little bit floaty here on the with its right hand, so I just have to cut that so it's not looking as bad. Oh, look at it. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god, I'm flying a little bit crazy over here. Crazy over here. Can you just walk a little so that your hand's not... Yeah, don't be too floaty. Oh, you're going away. You're going away from us. Just as I've been here. Yeah, just go quick. It's fine. See you later then. Yeah, let's quickly go to the shops at the end while not being a kid anymore. So, there's that little shop in the back, and you can see the larger one. Oh my god, this looks so funny. As it's just using the bridge as it's supposed to be, as like a human. Oh my god, this is so funny. So it fixed itself, or what is that? I thought in just a save file it wasn't fixed. Apparently it is. Okay, I like it. So yeah, you've got the gibbons just running all over the place, which I love. You've got the little seating areas here. We made use of the new natural path, and then we've got this little shop here in the middle with a little swing door where they can go in, have all their counters and stuff. I'm still like debating with myself what the hell they would sell over here, because they legit have no space to store anything. Like you could potentially just have some drinks or anything, but there's like nothing. I'm not sure where they would like kind of, I don't know, they have to just be wizards to do anything, whatever. So yeah, that's this. Let's see if we can see our friend again. Ah yeah, look at that, it's doing the diving for us. Look, thank you so much. Ah, this is why you went away. You were like, hey mate, look, I'm gonna do the dive. Look. It's so good. As if I've got it, told it to do so. Okay, can we have the sun over here? But sun is a little bit of a different story in this project. Okay, I can only have like a little bit of indirect sunlight and then just make the. Okay, it doesn't really change anything other than having a bit of sunlight in the front here. Okay, whatever. So there you go. Look, I love it. Look, this is so good. There you go. Awesome. Okay, I love it. You've seen it. Let's just fly out a little bit and show you the habitat from above. Well, there is not really an above, but we can just simply fly a little bit over here. We've got that tank, and then we've got the little stream over here. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of this habitat. Not sure if I can take any good screenshots apart from that what we already had, but it's a good habitat. I like it. It's really, if you take all the challenges into account, I really do like the habitat to bits, because as I said, it was not the easiest to do. It was in fact relatively complicated, and in comparison to all of my other projects I built, this was one of the hardest challenges, even if it doesn't seem like that. Love the fact how it's just like randomly streaming over here. They can also go for a little swim in here, but they can't dive, so that's why they potentially always run over here with high speeds, I guess. Look, it's diving above ground. So so much about the glitching, I guess. Oh boy. Okay. But I do like the diving of them. It's really cool because of their insanely long tail. It's crazy. It's looking pretty good. It's looking almost scary, like a little hunter in the water. Yeah. They also seem to do a little bit of different diving animations. I'm not entirely sure if it is, but it looks a little bit different. Anyhow, I'm rambling. Let's finish this video off while looking at this beautiful palm tree, which is also called the starfish, whatever. But yeah, so here we go. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I would be super happy if you guys consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And I would be more than happy to welcome you in the next one. Until then, have a good time and goodbye. Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. Welcome back to the last episode of the Palm Zoo. Today we are bringing in the wonderful Siamang. Yes, it's not an animal that has been released with the last DLC. In fact, we have it already a couple of weeks. But, a couple of months actually, but it fits in very well because it was the animal to bring in the variation. And as you know, the whole point of this gibbon thing was to bring the animals to swing through the entire build, and so the Siamangs are just a very obvious choice. Now, there's also going to be a special within my voiceover. I have a voice AI cloning my voice, and you gotta have to find out where it is. I'm gonna say that right away. It's relatively easy, but just make sure to drop a timestamp down below where you found it, and I'm gonna do something with this in the next episode. In the tour, there's gonna be some fun thing with some of you commenting, so make sure to do that. It's a fun little task. I could have made it better, but I just wanted to do it the way it is now because it really is fun. So yeah, keep your ears open. You'll find that. Also, maybe the best hint is it's not sounding as nosy as I am right now because of pollen allergy. That's kind of cool, by the way. I could just use that voice in the future. If I've got allergy or something, it's like, you know what, just leave my other voice without it speaking. Or I could train it with my nosy voice, and we've got always nosy Rudy, you know. Not really sure why you would need that, but I guess it's okay to think about the very much nosy voice as something unique. Okay, I'm trying to put it in a better light than it actually is. Let's speak about today's episode. This episode is featuring the wonderful Siamang as one of the best animals you can have when it comes to tropical houses. These animals love to swing from rope to rope and therefore also enjoy the wonderful coziness and the vibe within a tropical house, making the most of these beautiful animals to be seen by your guests. And I also feel like this can be a good testament to what we've built over here. Simply because I had to fix a lot of issues. I had to fix a lot of things that were not working as intended, and I have not really spent too much time focusing on these things previously. The reason why I did that is relatively easy. I wanted to bring everything together first because I knew some things were broken anyways, and I figured something interesting. I have not noticed that before. I'm not sure if Frontiers changed anything with the climbing system, but it was a bit weird. So most of the climbing frames, if not all, were showing everything as intended. So there were the green indicators in the middle of it all. It was connected. You could see the little bluish areas on the towers. But for whatever weird reasons, the areas at the end of the palm leaf, like we do have these far away areas in which they have some enrichment toys and stuff to make sure that they go there, they were just not connected. And I couldn't figure out what exactly it was until I noticed that the tiniest pieces of the world, and these were the new rope pieces that came with the last DLC, seemed to be able to crash everything. They seem to have a weird hitbox. So you can, like, if you want to know something, don't use these rope pieces at all, even not to detail things. So what I did, and you will see that also later in the episode, that I'm constantly deleting these pieces. I tried to make it look like as if the rope is, tangled around the log or something. So just make it a bit more realistic because, the way I put the ropes in, it always looked a bit weird because they just stick in, but this is how they can climb it. And so I was like, if I go a little bit further down, it should work because it shouldn't block it. But maybe it has something to do with the brachiation. Not entirely sure what exactly is the reason, but I just couldn't pass through, even though the climbing indicator was working. And so I was wondering that maybe it is the normal climbing indicator in which the animals would always walk on top of the climbable asset. So, because brachiation is the only way how animals use the space below the climbable asset. So if you, for example, take the chimpanzees or also the orangutan or whatever other animal, they will always climb above. Always. They will always have the orientation towards the sky. And so everything that is below the climbable asset shouldn't be too much of an issue. So maybe the indicator still calculates that. But with brachiation, obviously, you need a space below the piece as well. Even though I have figured that this seems to be not too much of an issue because they can brachiate even very, very closely throughout the things, which is pretty cool. And I by God, please never change that Frontier. Keep it the way it is. But yeah, I was wondering, maybe that's that. As a little Easter egg, which is not really an Easter egg anymore. First of all, because Easter is gone. And second of all, it's too big to be an Easter egg. I put the 7-Eleven in from our wonderful Asian water monitor episode, making fun of the meme. It's now becoming a meme inside of our building. So we have it as a little cozy corner here. I really found it interesting to explore how this could look. And I'm mega happy with how it all turned out. I'm mega happy because it exactly brings in a vibe that I wanted to achieve for many, many reasons. And I think the 7-Eleven gives us the superb context, so to say, to use exactly that. Because I really think that a good vibe is badly needed, especially in this build. We have so much going on. It's not clean. It's not tidy. It's a tropical, overgrown environment, and that in itself has a pretty nice feel. So I wanted to translate exactly this feel into the seating areas as well. Making sure it's an adorable mess, if that makes any sense. Jesus, that sounded like as if all of my energy and life just left my body for a second. I mean, if you're listening to this point, you shouldn't have too much of a deal to figure something out. I still find it creepy because, if you've listened to that, obviously you guessed it by now. I just used this 2-minute sample to create that. You can upload a sample up until, I don't know, I think you're able to put 2 hours of samples in or even more, and then the accuracy goes beyond crazy. I've done that for like work, and we've done that like really seriously, and oh boy is that crazy how good and how much of a difference that can make. But yeah, that was just a fun little experiment. That said, I'm experimenting a lot with AI at the moment, so if you are interested, please drop a comment down below if you're also into AI tools. Are you using some already? Even for my fellow YouTube friends who may watch this, or people who want to start YouTube, there are plenty of tools that will enable you to rock a lot more than you might have been doing before. Just make sure to drop some comments down below if you are interested in. I'm really looking into making a video how, as a gaming YouTuber, that can be of value. But let's quickly talk about this tree, because oh my god, I'm so happy about how this turned out. I can't even tell you how long it took that I finally could realize the idea. I had this right away when we got this bark piece, as you can see over here. I already had the idea to make a tree that looks almost like as if the bark was peeled off a little bit, because I remember we had these Australian pieces of the you know, bark-free logs, so to say, and I think it just looks beautiful. The final version of it is really cool. We've got a seating area below here. It's looking really good. It obviously is a fake tree, but with the way it looks, I think it's really cool because it just gets that fake tree climbable asset feeling across very nicely. And I think the bark pieces exactly do what they should do, and I'm mega happy. In fact, and this is unfortunately, it's always the same with these types of builds. The more you get towards finishing it, the better you get with what you're doing, because you kind of got a certain flow, a certain learning, you know which pieces work and which don't, and so it's just a lot more natural. And frankly, this last alley, like the last palm leaf, is, in my opinion, the best when it comes to the cleanliness of the look, even though, and that is a very weird phrasing to say because it's all not clean, but by cleanliness of the look, I mean how believable it looks and how nice it looks for what it should be. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. It looks really, really dope. Very detailed, very natural. It all makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I can only be very happy with how it is. There are a couple of little things inside of the habitats that could be better, and I will argue that I do have a new biggest pain point in Planet Zoo. I always thought it might be the pathing, or it might be something about the climbing system. No, my newest biggest pain point in this game is the lack of a second or third or just multiple habitat gate, or a staff-only type of door, barrier, whatever. It is absolutely ridiculous that you have no control over bringing a keeper anywhere else than where the traversable area works for them. So the problem I have in this build specifically, I mean, this is just in Sandbox and that's the reason it works, but it would never work as a working habitat, because these animals would basically die out of starvation, simply because the only chance for them to eat is in this center part, because that's legit the only area where our keepers can go. The cleanliness of the habitats would be insane because they couldn't get rid of it. There would be a chance to do that, but that is awfully complicated, and also it just wouldn't work necessarily, because it would also imply that the animals can roam free all of the time, and I had to ensure somehow that they don't, but it just doesn't work, because with some animals it works. Like, okay, so it's relatively easy for all animals that have a bigger demand in space than the keeper. So if you have the smallest opening for a keeper, which is, if I remember correctly, the normal door, like the door frame from the 4-meter pieces, from the wall pieces, that door frame is the smallest possible opening you can have for a keeper. And as long as the animal doesn't fit, and even with the juveniles, they don't fit through that gate, and unfortunately that's not too many animals. I think it's the hippo, some bears, and the crocs, even though the baby crocs do fit through, so that's again not working. So it doesn't really fit on too many animals, but some of the animals work, so you can make nice areas for hippos, for example, because you can still make the keeper get everywhere without them getting everywhere. I just need a stuffed door. That's all I need. Just making sure that the animals can't pass through. I thought I'd find a solution by doing a weird workaround, but it doesn't really exactly work the way. Maybe I can fix it. There is a little issue I still have with that, and I'm not entirely sure if it works 100% of the times, but especially in this build, it just was obvious again how much of a pain it is to build multiple layer habitats. And I've seen so many great things on Reddit lately of people who are super talented in the community as well, who have built insanely nice areas, especially for the gibbon, with like different levels and how they can swing across the pathway and stuff like that. But the only thing I saw was like, oh my god, that just doesn't work in any kind of franchise or challenge mode, because the animals would basically starve, because, you know, you can't get it clean, you can't get the food in certain places, and this is just... I think this is one of the most important things to be fixed in the future. Honestly, it's really a big pain, in my opinion. The more I play the game, the more I try to get creative, the more it becomes an issue. There's always a workaround, and that's just by disabling every need, but that's not my target. And especially for Zoo Sicily, it doesn't work, because we do have the, you know, animal requirements on. Anyways, let's move into the game. Look at that, there's a Siamang just passing by us. Let's see if it's already doing a little swingy swing here, a brachiation. Unfortunately, like the gibbons do it quite often. I haven't seen the Siamang doing it that often in the free space here. They do it, so don't worry, it's not like a big deal, but they do it. Yeah, very nice. It's actually really nice that it all works just fine. Let's go into the space that we've created now, the new one. We are here at the entrance of our wonderful palm. As I said, it's not going to be a full tour. That looks like as if someone is broken out and just... No, it's not. Okay, I thought they were like running free. Some of them just sometimes do that, but like, oh my god, look at that. Woo, it's a goal. Swing the swing. Yeah, it just works really good now, because they do... Oh, look at that. There's the next one. It's exactly as I wanted it. That makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Look at that, just come in, you see the animals do that, and there is another one in the back, and the more you look around, you can see them all swing by, and I might even put even more in, because it's such a huge space now that it doesn't look weird if they just do swings. Oh, look at that, there is another one coming. This is exactly what I meant. It's so cool if they just do that in front of you or above your head, and yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. The idea just turned out to be working fine. But yeah, as I promised, we have to go into that area here, just in front of us. And it's a bit different, because as you can tell, I did a couple of things in a different way. There's even like a netting above us to make sure that they don't come here. It's, you know... It's the idea turned out to be working quite well. There's like a little bit of an enrichment item on this side. There's a bit more of a free space. This is what I meant. There's a little bit of detail lacking on this side here. But honestly, though, it's just like a little bridge project. So that needed to be here in order to bring them to the other side. The focus was made or was set on that area here. And just look at this. It looks so good. I love it. There's like a sprinkler in the back. And especially this part there in the center looks really dope. And as I said, this is the tree. I'm a big fan of that tree. It looks really cool. It looks super cool. And I really, like, I would 10 out of 10 sit down here and grab a little whatever, food or drink or not. The only issue I have is I made a connection over here to make sure we see a lot of brachiation happening. This one is a perfect brachiation rope, but that also means that they are basically not going onto the tree anymore. I have to maybe put like an enrichment item on top of there to make them go there. You've got some little lovely benches here. Look at that. I mean, just look at this one with the sun coming up on the... Oh, it looks so good. I just want to sit down here. Let's quickly do that, okay? Just gonna here and... Oh, look at that. Oh, just chill here. See how the Siamang is just making its way somewhere else. Where are you going? Come on, do the little brachiation for us here. That would be awesome. You not? Okay, maybe this is because of the fence here. So yeah, look at that. It's so good. So good. Yeah, and stand up again, and we can see there's like a little bit of a bigger climbing frame. This is like a little bit of a climbing area for them. There is something to drink hidden nicely in there. There are some enrichment items hidden in here. So the more animals I put in, the more they will hopefully use this space. And I gotta say that overall the climbing, and I stay by what I said. I think the climbing overall has received an overhaul with the brachiation. It's a lot more stable. Yes, you do see a lot of glitching still, like this, for example, but it's by far not as bad anymore. And it looks, for the most part, and it looks really good. They have a way better touch when it comes to where they put their hands and feet. It's a lot more stable and it's a lot more enjoyable, and I think the times where it really works far outweigh now the times where it does lack a little bit of you know, accuracy and stuff. And yeah, just in general, I am a freaking huge fan of this space in here. You can see one running down. You can stay here and have a look, and just in general make sure that make the most of the time you are in this area. Gosh, I also especially love this view. Can we just get the sun in a little bit nicer? Is that a way to get this? It's such a pain with the sun here, to be honest. Like, this works, this looks kind of cool, this is a kind of cool view here, but it's really like, this is the only negative that you do really have this pain always. It's a bit unfortunate, I'm not gonna lie. It's really unfortunate, but it's what we have to deal with. It's just not possible in a different way, but yeah, I'm just positive that it still looks good for you, especially when you move around. I think it's fine. The more you have to take screenshots, the more of a pain it becomes to utilize this area. The shadow is just not looking as good, but yeah, so that's what we have to deal with. Let's just jump out of this camera and go into the free look mode, because I promised you to look at a certain couple things. Yeah, I mean, just look at this area in general. I think it's really good. Wait, let me just quickly capture that frame real quick, because it looks really dope. It looks really good. I cannot say what is the best part of it, and I think as soon as this point is reached, I can be happy, because that's exactly what I needed. But yeah, so this is that area. Let's just oh my god, does it swing over? Yes, I need to. Oh my god, I need to keep that. This is always important, because they do it so seldom that I need to exactly see. Can I bring you into the sunlight? Maybe I can get some artifact, kind of a little bit. This looks kind of okay to me, even though I have to see how I can make this look good. You can't see the depth of field, but I can, so I'm just playing around a little bit with the depth of field right now. I'm just trying to make sure that this really looks cool. I think that's what we're getting. This is really good. This is really nice. And maybe you can get this frame in. Yeah, there you go. Let's just hit play for a second again and see if it comes a little bit closer. Yeah, I mean, the brachiation just looks so cool. It looks so good now that we can finally have it in a free way and not be restricted to the climbing frame. It just is. It's just miles better. It's just miles better. Yeah, so this is that area. As I said, I'm a big fan of this area, so you can also have like a little peek in here like this, just like very much like so. It's such a cool frame, just in general, like the climbing frames and stuff in here looks really good. But if we zoom out of this entire thing, let me just get that, you can see the whole build in itself is almost done. Let me just put that to midday. And the only thing that's not done is the front. So I'm just willing to finish that off. Also willing to put a little bit of plants around, get rid of like this stuff, get rid of this stuff, like all the little things and so on. And then we are gone. We're done. We're gone. We're done. We're not gone. We're done. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really, really good. And I'm gonna upload this to the workshop. We're gonna make like a little tour. We're gonna have some fun. And then this is all yours. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this series so far. I must say, I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm super happy that I decided to do a little extra series, a mini series, and did not cramp that all into Zoo Sicily, because I also don't think that all of the animals fit into Zoo Sicily, frankly. And I have to say that I'm very much more happy with the fact that I focused on the quality build in Sicily instead. So yeah, with all that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, the little experiment with the AI voice. And also make sure to follow me around here, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We are only 40 subs away from 80k. Let's do this, please. That would actually finish the project that we, by the end of the DLC, we are at 80k. That was my target, so we can reach it. If this episode makes me reach 80k, that'd be awesome. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. have a lovely weekend, and make sure to be here tomorrow because something big is launching. If you follow me on Twitter, you already know, but it's gonna be big. So be there or be square. See you, bye. Welcome everyone to a tour of my wonderful Palm Zoo. In case you have missed out on this series, what have you been doing? But today we are going to explore a wonderful zoo within this tropical house that is shaped after a palm tree, by the way. We're going to have a look at that at the end of today's tour. We're going to explore 6 animals, if I'm not completely wrong. 5 of the current DLC plus 1, which this is going to be. You may already know, if not, you're going to find out. So, we are standing here at the entrance. We've got a little fountain over here where unfortunately the effects are a little bit off, but you know what, we are just going to ignore that for the moment being. And for those of you who've seen the whole, speed builds and stuff, they will know that I have actually finished the entrance, as you can tell. This is all done now. We've got a little bit of a nice garden here. You know, we've got a planter. We've got some nice looks over here. I've not finished that. You can download this whole file by yourself, by the way. You're going to find the linky in the description, or you just go to Steam and Google on Steam. Search on Steam for my name, and you're going to find that there. So, before we go in, a quick reminder. This is going to be a tropical house with, one special thing in the center, as we'll find out in a short bit. We're going to make our way in, and first of all, we're going to be greeted by the area in which the wonderful and majestic sloth is living. As you can see, they are hanging quite a little bit in here already. There's one chilling up here, and the other one is down here grabbing some fruits. Well, in fact, there are no fruits on here right now. But, in case it's liking some fruits, it's going to be there. There's another one just waiting to pass through here. Ah, look at that. This is good. I just really like this space. Are there any more to find over here? Another one climbing through? Not really. Oh, look at that. There's another one just hanging over here, having a good chill time. The other one chilling up here. Yeah, quite a bit of busy times here for them. They have a good time in here. Oh, there's another one hiding behind the seating spot. This is actually like a very nice seating spot if you just chill here. Look at that. Ah, this is so good. So yeah, we're gonna follow this road a little bit here, this little trail. As you can tell, everything is just a bit overgrown. We've got leaves covering the ground. And we're going to make our way into the next area, which is a bit more of an open area. We still have some sloth hanging around. This one has a very chill time, doesn't it? Look, it's not chilling on top of this log anymore. It's already hanging down. Is there another one in the basket? Not really, though. But if we go further, we've got a little house in which they can chill if they want to, like, as in a little temple. There's another one hanging. Look at that one. There's one hanging here. Some pods and stuff, and you can already tell there are some lianids hanging around here, so technically there could be some monkeys climbing around, because in fact I've done something rather unique, and it's kind of cool. We can have actually monkeys climbing above the whole time. As you can tell, there is someone coming. Look at that. Some gibbons making the way over here. So they can basically roam around in the entire building in a free manner. They just have to focus on their climbing frames. And that's kind of cool. You can really tell there. Oh, look at that. Hello, my friend. Where you going? Where you going? Hello? Are you doing some variation for us? Just for the sake of showing off? I don't know. Maybe you do? Yeah, there you go. This is so good. I love that. I just love that. They can just do the whole stuff the whole time above us, because they can just go from A to B. Not sure where the other one went, but yeah, they can have a good time. And if we want to grab like a little drink or something at the beginning, look at that one just passing by for us. Okay, we can grab like an info thingy at the beginning so we have an idea, but it's not like the most complicated area to be in, so it's quite crowded here. Can we just make our way next to the people here? There's a bit of a mess going on because everyone is looking at these animals, but yeah, there you go. A bit fixed more over here. Look at that. There's a Siamang hanging as well. So this is the +1, just to get that right off. There is a Siamang company, family, so to say, living with us in here. We're going to start our way To the right hand side, this first arm over here is basically the first habitat area, which is the habitat of the Lagibons and the Siamang. They have this central area, as you can tell, and they have a dedicated area here to the right hand side. And obviously, they will also follow us through all of the other areas. So we're going to make our way from the right hand side all the way across to the other side until we end over here, which I believe is the... I'm not even sure what exactly that is. I think it's the Red River Hawk, what we have there in the back. But whatever. We're going to start our way here to the right-hand side, seeing if there's someone following us in here. I guess they are. As you can tell, there are some lovely little spaces. There's some Lagibons standing over here, enjoying their time. Some netting across the top. And we've got also this space. Look at that. There are some... Oh yeah, that is very interesting indeed what you're doing. But there are some more gibbons just making their way from A to B. And we've got some more shops over here. Look at that. We can have like a little pizza. I can have one. Look at that. I'm a kid. Oh gosh, the perspective change is insane. Yeah, got one pizza, please. And I'm also going to take one gulpy. Gonna take one lime one, please. Can I have lime one? Hello? Is that possible? Oh, look at that. We can even pay. Oh my god, this is so not German. We can pay contactless. This is so not German. I mean, it's getting better in Germany, but it's still like contactless payment, let alone card payment in general, is still not, you know, it's really not everywhere. It's really hard to... Excuse me? How? Why? I mean, that was quite majestic, but how on earth did you manage to do that? Like, they're not glitching on climbing anymore, but they're just like legit going through walls. Oh my god, that is a holy Siamang. Oh, we've got like a Siamang baby, look at that. Or is that a Lagibon? Wait, am I confused? No, it's a Siamang baby. Oh, look at that. This is so cool. I didn't know we have already some babies. Oh, that's so nice. Yay. I haven't seen doing the I just want to follow that one up. Can we see some brachiation of a baby? I'm not sure if the baby does it anyways. I've never seen a baby do brachiation. Maybe we're not gonna catch it here though. But oh gosh, I'm still so madly in love with this area. Like, I think the plants and stuff, and with like the sun coming in here, it really does work wonders. Can you just stay inside, please? Now I'm a little bit scared from you, like the holy Siamang. You do some interaction with each other. Hello? Or just standing across... Oh my god, that was a weird dance. Are you sad now? Daddy's going. Or is it mama? I have no idea. Can you do variation for us, please? Just don't stay there. Okay, maybe we're gonna catch that one up later. But let's follow up over here. Nice little seating area. I'm a big fan of that one. Just chilling over here, seeing the animals climb across. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. Ah, I'm just like very happy that it all worked out so well, and like that you can really see them climbing above you. That is so good. I mean, really something I was planning, and sometimes these things just don't work out, but apparently it did. Now the next leaf, I want to call it arm always, but it's like these are leaves, you know, these parts are leaves. And so the palm leaf, we're going to go, I'm not sure, is it palm leaf though? I think it may have another name, but yeah, this is where the Fossa is living. There's one hiding behind. Oh my god, that is so cinematic. Look at that. We are very lucky in today's tour, seeing all the animals right away. Yeah, we've got the Fossa living in this one. It's a very thin and narrow habitat, but I'm still a big fan of it. I think in terms of views, it's also the second best of the whole series, or maybe even the best by now. But I gotta admit, the thumbnail of the episode was also pretty legit. It really was good. It took me forever to make a perfect screenshot when I had all the individuals passing over here. This is like the little trail they can follow. But it's so good. I mean, like, you're standing over here and you can see the Fossa. Look at that. This is one up here. And you can still see like the Siamangs and Lagibons just climbing here to the right-hand side. It almost feels like as if they're living together. I really do like this, yeah, immersion. I think it's really, that's what you can call that. It's a very immersive feel. Can you just come over here? Just jump. How? That was weird. That is okay. We're not gonna look at that. This is just some madness going on here. They got some little waterfall here at the end where the water is like tumbling into the little river. Yeah, still a big fan of that. I think it's looking good. In particular, I like the fact that it's just like at the end of of the leaf. It's a bit quieter over here. You can just have a little chill on that sofa and then just enjoy the silence, having a little look, because these, you know, these cat-like creatures, they're very gentle, they're very nice, they're cozy. It's, you can really, oh, look at that, you can see them on top here, some good views from over here, and occasionally you've got a gibbon passing by. Yes, I think this is a good spot. I think it's a very good spot. Yeah, you can also make your way all the way to the end, and you've got some individuals chilling over here. It's not too fancy, it's just like also for them to take some rest from the stress in the center. And yeah, we can make our way back. Let's run for a second. Yay, these people are running too. That is a fancy hat made. So yeah, let's see if we can see anything else over here. I like these little windows where you can just also have a look, like as an adult. If you're too big, you got a problem though. If you're too small, you got a problem too. But in fact, I think if you're small, there's still some chance to, well, it's not too easy though. It's really made for adults. I'm a bad person. I should have put like at least a little bit of a step up here so kids can at least see something. But we have got so many like glass viewing, they can still see something. It's good. And if not, they just need to look up and then they see all the apes and monkeys and stuff. The only thing I really should have done is like put some more like decals to the ground that it's actually more dirty, because like all the, you know, let's not talk about that, but keeping it clean is really going to be a hard one for the staff. Now, speaking about the staff, there is a staff area just behind that little building, but as you can tell, oh my god, I think I missed out on the most important part, and that is the 7-Eleven branding. This is my 7-Eleven. If you have not seen the episode, we did like a little special for the, you know, Asian water monitor. There are some memes, or in fact, there's like one very famous video of a water monitor just climbing a shelf in a 7-Eleven. And just in fact, if you're living in these areas and you know about that, these monitors have a weird habit of actually going into these stores, especially 7-Eleven in Japan and Thailand and Asia just in general. But also I heard some of you telling the same from like Florida region and the US. Really interesting. I thought it was a good joke, and I think it's just good to have it in here. I think it makes a lot of sense. Building just within the building, and behind that we have the staff area, and I think it's kind of nicely hidden, so I didn't need to put too much effort into hiding that eventually. Then we have got another little backstage access to one of the habitats, as you can see over here, slightly hidden as well, but this is where we have to go into the next of the leaves, and this one should actually be the water monitor. Yes, that is the water monitor. It should be in here. No, let's see if we can catch it. We've got some potential spots where it could be. Still a big fan of that wall, by the way. It just really works well. Yeah, maybe we have to go into the actual habitat to find them. But first of all, we're going to try our best here in the water. Sometimes they're just diving around. Look at that, all the babies diving around. My god, we had some babies. Oh, that's, oh my god. They are quite some babies diving around in here. I briefly thought they were different, like, adult life stages, but I think they're just like slightly different sized, that's all. I think these are the adult ones, and the babies are not that much smaller, is it? I think this is the big difference. It looks kind of funny though how many are in. I gotta check that later. You know, I haven't really monitored how much they just, you know, got some babies and stuff. I basically turned it on to have some babies for the tour, but I left it running for quite a bit of time, so maybe that was a little too long. But I remember that these monitors in general just get a couple of babies, so it's not like too surprising. But yeah, speaking of surprising, it is a bit surprising that we don't have any monkeys making their way over here, because usually that area is rather crowded with them. Seems they have changed plans. But yeah, so this is another little cozy chill area where you can hang out, get some drinks, if anyone will be in here to give you some, I guess. Fresh soda, you know, fresh stuff. And you can just like search a good spot, and also you can see, look at that, you can even see something in the distance, some Siamangs passing by. Are really good. I just love the fact that you know, you can see so much and just have a good time here, you know, just have a good time in this tiny spot. Can we have like some fries here? Gonna take some fries. Also, what do you have to offer? That is some ice cream. Yay. Matai, the Blue Angel. kind of thing. Can I have that one? And what is that one? That looks like cabbage, but I'm not like eating cabbage ice cream. Not my taste, but that looks like cookie dough and cherry or something like that. That might be it. Yeah, I'm gonna take the blue angel and cookie dough and whatever. You know, that should be fine. Cherries. And you got some hats and so on. Well, these two do not really fit. Do I have like a Lara gibbon one I can have? And that's like a little mirror to check my... Ooh, excuse me, can I get back down? Hello, there was a way to get down. There you go. That is like the little trick. So we just jumped back down, didn't break the ankle. That is good. No one of the little ones over here. There's just a little monitor. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's go on into the next one. Big fan of the fern. Big fan of the fern. Okay, I shouldn't do that. You know, there was a time a couple of years ago I thought I should not sing at all. Nothing of it changed, and I'm still doing it. Because I'm stupid, I guess. Oh, look at that. I also like the idea to, you know, we just made sure that we have some variation in here, and then in here we have some walls covering the inside, I guess. Can you please stop running into me? I hate people. Just go away. I was just kind of debating with myself if I wanted to have guests in here. I always feel like it's more lively when you have some in, but if you have like these kind of tiny cramped zoos and you can limit this to 500, it still becomes rather crowded. You know, 200 or 250 would be well enough for this type of build. So yeah, it's a bit of a pity, but you know, that's the way it is. Yeah, if I may criticize myself, the only thing I'm still not a big fan of is this inner ring of security things. They just could escape all the time and I needed to install something else. It's okay, but it just kind of blocks the view in an annoying way. And usually they should not be able to jump over here, but it's fine, they do. I mean, it's unrealistic anyways, because they could just literally go here, hang down and let themselves jump down to the ground, which... the logic of the game is, no, you can't do that over here. But you can jump from over here to... well, you know, it doesn't matter. Let's not question that, okay? It's a game. It's a game after all. It's a game after all that time. Yeah, it's not good. I wanted to do the small world kind of tone to it. Let's not do that, okay? Let's just not do singing at all. Like, my voice is not made for that. Gosh, but the game is made for tropical stuff, isn't it? I'm always like in here in the tropical area. It's like Planet Zoo is made for tropical. Look, there's the red river hog. I was right. That is the last habitat. The thing is why I'm so confused. I should know, but the thing is I didn't build them like chronologically. I just built them like these habitats in the way I wanted to. Like I just really didn't focus too much on where to go or whatnot. I just made sure the habitats are nice for each individual area. But then again, I also made sure that I did what I wanted to do. And oh my god, look at the little cute... oh my goodness me. I haven't seen the babies of the Red River. They are so freaking cute. Holy pig. Why are they so cute? No, I didn't want to climb. Look at those little cup. Oh my... holy... have you seen that? Oh, it's so good with it. Ah! The variation still gets me all the time. It's almost as good as the diving when it was implemented. I really wish they would do brachiate even more now. Yeah, it's complaining on the highest possible levels. They have done such an amazing job to bring brachiation now in as a permanent, permanent thing. But and not only on the, you know, it becomes an actual behavior, and from what was originally an enrichment, you should call it, because in fact the brachiation frame was an enrichment item. Say it or not, it was actually the case, and now it became a behavior, which is great, but I wish they would use it even more to travel instead of just doing that as a occasional animation. I think this is the best way to put it. Oh my god, look at the little shake. Oh, it's so cute. I cannot. You know, it's not about me, but I can understand why people dream of having like a house pick or something. They are freaking cute. The only problem is they don't stay that way. I mean, they kind of still look weird when, like, in a cute, nice way when they're big. They totally have convinced me, by the way. You guys have convinced me. This Red River Hog is a great animal. You know, I was a bit not concerned, hesitant, not... yeah, that fits. Yeah, I don't know why exactly I was so hesitant about it. It's a great animal. It, in fact, is a great animal. I love it. I love the whole build, Hey dude, are you having a good time? Hanging around here? Yeah, we should definitely make our way to the end of this palm leaf just to show you the finished product. Look, there's someone else hanging over here. Hold on to your butts, yo. Okay, well, just stop running into me. Can you just make your way around me? Dang. Like, I wish at this point that the Explore Cam becomes like a, I don't know, a barrier for the people so that they're just not running into you all the time. That is annoying. But yeah, so this is another shop front. You know, people want to eat. No matter where you are, people are eating all the time. And so I had to make sure it does do the same over here. Look, oh my god, this one is climbing. This is what I meant. Like, this is the type of brachiation we need. Oh my boy. That was a good one. Exactly like this. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's almost as if the game has listened. Yeah. Oh my god. So they should do it like Meta, whatever Facebook is calling themselves now, is doing the advertisement. You just need to speak about something, and the second after you have your whole account spammed with the relative advertising to what you've talked about. No matter if you had your phone turned on or not, they will know. You just say, I don't know, Pringles, and thanks for that. I will have Pringles on my phone now for the next 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know why they do this so obviously. I at least have it in the most obvious manner ever. And I wish the game is just like that. I'm just like, hey, make sure everyone's brachiating, and they're like all turning now to brachiate. Look at that one over here. Just... yeah, that is it. I love when they're just going above and beyond. That is so cool if they do both. Like, this is realistic. I mean, before that was a bit of a problem because it, you know, it just crashed into the other ones. But look at it. Yes, they're just doing so much more brachiation right now. I love that. Again, as I said, I wish they would use it like totally to go from A to B. Just like fully go through here and do the brachiation. That would be awesome. But yeah, so that's that. We can just go all the way to the front now to take like a little final fly or just like a final look at this. Yeah, we should actually fly up. Let's quickly do that. I definitely want to make sure you guys can see it in full glory. Look at that. There we are flying up now. And so the palm shape becomes apparent. So this is that, guys. This is my palm zoo. Oh, look at that. There's even the roof open to get some fresh air in. In fact, I did this to... oh my god, I forgot to close it off. This was meant to have some more light to take a good photo, and I just kept it open. You know, we just imagine that this is meant to be open. It's my stupid mistake. I'm not sure if I can fix this, though. This is the final file. I just forgot about that. Okay, my stupidity, don't worry about this. I might just copy something in. I do have all the pieces available over here. If you want to play around with them, I think I'm just going to keep them in the file so you can have them at your hand if you want to. But yeah, so that's the tour. Let's just zoom all the way back here into that one. Ooh, to the entrance. There you go. This is the entrance. Gosh, I'm such a big fan. This is such a good zoo. I love the whole project. I love the whole idea of making sure that this is going to be a tiny project. We kept it within the limitations I set myself to, and that is something very positive. I do certainly hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did enjoy, I would be so happy to, you know, welcome you as a subscriber, to help me out, you know, get back into the YouTube rhythm. I don't know if you've seen that, but we are facing a little bit of a hard time at the moment to gain traction on YouTube. This is due to so many reasons I could ramble about for an hour, but I don't want to bother you with these boring topics you don't have to worry about at all. The only thing I want to is, if you enjoy the content, just follow me around over here, give me that little click on the red button, sub to the channel. That is all you need to do to make me happy for today, and hopefully to keep you happy in the future once a video is turning up for you. There's a lot cooking in the background. Yeah, very happy to share that with you soon, and also make sure to just have a very good time. Thank you so much for your support as always. Again, the file is available to you to download if you want to check this out yourself. And now have a good time. This is the end to the Palm Zoo. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Have a good time, and goodbye.